bring on the baskets for only $8.99 this summer at First.
Hey, you guys, welcome. Boy, you guys are already in here having a whole conversation.
Hey, y'all.
Can you see Keish?
Yeah, I can see it.
They over there, they already on bold. I don't even see any conversation about the Young and the Restless at all.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too.
Yeah, so hey, you guys. Hello. Hey, y'all. Yes, Vicky said it is showtime. Sorry for the delay. I was having some technical difficulties on the podcast side, so I got to figure that out. But, you know, it's always a way to do something, and we had to go a different route in order to go ahead and get this show started. So, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where tonight is going to be myself, T. I have Keish on the line as well.
Hey.
Great. That's a loud train horn.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, okay, good. Welcome in Nancy, aka Bling Time Baby. She says, hi, I'm a new subscriber. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's always good to hear.
I know, right? I know. All right, so welcome to Soap Corner Talk, where again, my name is T, and I got Keish. Bree should be popping in depending on the weather in her area. And we'll be recapping both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful for the week of July 22nd through July 26th. I'm telling you, we blew through the month of July.
I know. It's unreal how fast this has gone.
Girl, I'm telling you. I mean, it seemed like May went May, June went June, but July, it just seemed like it was the 4th of July weekend, and then poof, we are getting ready to head into August next Thursday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
We're almost through summer.
I know, girl. And see, when you live in the area where we are, which is in the Midwest, we treasure the summer months because because we know in about a month, 2 months, maybe month and a half, the temperatures are going to change as we head into September. So,
yeah,
I know, man. You like, yeah. Okay, let me see. I want to make sure. Okay, she said, "Hey, it's clear. I can join." All right, let me bring her in. Hold on. I'm gonna bring Bree in if I can. Hold on. What happened? How's it doing that? Instagram gets so squirrely sometimes.
They're not cooperating.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Invite. And where is... Let me get Bree in here. Okay, there we go. Maybe it was my big old fingers and I kept touching the wrong thing. All right, so I did call her. Hopefully, it'll bring her in. There she is.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. It's hurricane season. So, it's just a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of everything.
Oh, my goodness. Wasn't it storming on Wednesday, too?
It's just about every day. It gets usually worse between like August and September, but you never know in Florida. So it's a mix of everything, and all the way till November 30th. So.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you came in just the right time. I was having some technical difficulties, as you probably now realizing. We're doing the call via IG. Because the podcasting side, I guess they did a huge update, and so they revamped everything, and I just didn't have the time within that end of the 6 and 7 o'clock hour to try to figure it out, because everybody was in this chat already talking about bold. So
that was not going to stop me either. That's perfectly fine. All good. There's a lot we got to say about those shows.
I know.
They're saying a couple people said it's loud. What's loud, you guys?
What's loud, you guys? Let me see what they say.
Okay.
That happened the last time we were talking, wasn't it, Bree?
I think so. It might be me. If it's my microphone, please let me know.
I turned down the volume a little bit on my end, so because it's picking up from my phone, so hopefully that will work. Oh, they said Vicky said Bree is loud.
I mean, I usually am, but
yeah, that's what they're saying. Melissa, yeah, V. Lewis, Jan, they talking about your mic, girl. I don't know.
Okay, let's see. Let me adjust it.
It says it's fine now, so.
Okay. Okay, good.
I want to make sure everybody get heard, and I also don't want to blow out anybody's eardrum, so.
Me either. Much better now. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. I want to make sure everything's on the straight and narrow. Thank you guys.
Okay, cool. All right. So, as I was saying, we got Bree on board now. We are recapping both The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful from the week of July 22nd through July 26th. And as I was telling Keish, Bree, it looked like we just blew through the month of July.
And it's just been very, like, Y&R was really great, but B&B was just very lackluster this week's month.
Yeah, and the sweeps ended on Wednesday. The last day of the sweeps was the 24th. And I'm like, okay, Young and the Restless did a good job of going all the way to the end. But I think after Thomas left, the first or second week of July, everything just kind of went,
If you guys were to grade it, what would you guys grade this week for the show?
Ooh, you really want us to give you that?
Because in all honesty, for me, Y&R, I'll give it like a B+. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some areas that I would love for the writing to kind of change, but for Bold, it's a D-.
Wow. She said a D-. Okay, go ahead, Keish.
Barely passed.
I'd have to give Y&R a C. Maybe a C-. I'll give Bold the same as Bree. They get a D.
Really?
Yeah, you know what? Forget that. Bold gets an F.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Monique agrees with you. She said a F++++++.
So they positively failed?
Wow. I would give probably both Young and the Restless a B, because Summer is really getting on my nerves, and that's what's supposed to happen. And this whole, I like these corporate takeovers and things like that. That's my cup of tea. So I'll give them a B. On the Young and the Restless side, on the Bold and Beautiful side, I'll give it a C. I like a good murder mystery. I just miss Thomas. And I know there was some congratulations in order for J. Matt Atkinson and Brittany Atkinson, or what's her, Rutledge is her previous name, as they are expecting a baby due in November. So,
yay!
Congrats.
I'm so happy for them.
She's already got a little bump.
I know. Well, if she's doing November, she's probably about, because this is going into August, so she about 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, which tells me. Go ahead, Bree.
No, I think you're about to say the same thing. They've been working on it since Matt left.
Yeah, if she was like, and I think I talked about this on Wednesday, because I got a November baby. My oldest was born in November, and yeah, during the summer I was nice and pregnant. So, and I was about 5 or 6 months around this time of the year when I was pregnant with her. So yeah, that would have took her back to March, late February, maybe mid. If she having the baby early in November, it would be early February. So, but congrats to them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
Yeah, they weren't playing. They knew. Oh my God, what was that?
I don't know.
Bree, is that you? Hello? Is Bree still there?
I see her on the screen.
I don't know what that was.
I wonder if maybe she got a call.
Probably so. It sounded like a vibrating phone or something.
Yeah.
That was me.
You
I had to make
good?
sure I checked that. I'm good now. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely had a plan, which was to date, find somebody, get married, and next come the kids. So boom, 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 right back to back to back. You
Yeah.
know. So
Good for them.
yeah, good for them. I'm wondering if they're gonna do the whole gender reveal and baby showers and put all that good stuff out there for us to see as well as time go on. They probably already know if she's about 5 to 6 months pregnant. So
Oh yeah,
yep, they
and
know.
Unless they
it's
didn't want to know.
understandable.
Wait a minute, what'd you say?
I was saying unless they didn't want to know. Maybe they
Kept it a
wanted a
secret.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. We're gonna start with Y and R. And what I'm gonna do, you guys, what I'm gonna do is I'll give a summary for for this past week, and then we'll break down the storylines. We do also have other segments at the end. Flip the script, who's taking several seats, our pickle of the week, and our star of the week. All right, so let's do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up everything for Y and R. Come on, computer, don't do this to me. Wait a minute. It's just one of them days, I tell you. Okay, let's try it now.
It really has been, especially during the summer, and the weather doesn't really help it either.
Right. I know, right? Okay, here we go. All right, so for the Young and the Restless for the week of the 22nd through the 26th, Adam covers when Billy questions him about Baltimore. Chelsea has a panic attack, and Jack and Nikki have a fight. Sharon hallucinates Nick kissing her, and Victor reveals he's acquiring Chancellor Industries for Nikki. Devon proposes to Abby. Lily confesses her subterfuge to Billy, and Nikki reacts to Victor's shocking proposal. And Ashley talks Abby out of having cold feet. Tracy asks Alan to go to LA, and Summer is granted temporary urgent custody. And then, last but not least, Phyllis advises Summer how to fight dirty, and Nikki tells Victoria how bad she wants Chancellor. Alright, so we have some stuff that I did not mention, which is at the top corner of the photo is this whole thing that happened with Lucy trying to get to go to that party with the girls, and Faith was like, yeah, not today.
Yeah, that was weird to me. It was weird to me that Daniel and Heather were okay with it.
Mm-hmm. And why you say that?
Because Lucy is, 15, 16 years old in high school, and Faith
I thought she was like 14.
Even worse. Faith has to be at the very least 19 if she's not already 20 by now, because she's been in college for, when did her and Moses leave? Like 2 years ago?
2022. So, yeah.
So she's got to be about 20.
Mm-hmm.
Why is a 14, 15, 16-year-old hanging out with 20-year-olds, 20-somethings?
Now, I do know that Bree got a whole different perspective on that.
Yeah, she's just trying to be a little fast, girl. That's what it boils down to.
Oh, I know what Lucy is doing. I'm talking about Heather and Daniel being okay with it. Like, I couldn't picture myself allowing my 16 or less daughter hanging out with college kids that are in their 20s, especially at a pool party at that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I was saying when we were having a conversation about that. I don't remember my mom letting me hang out or my sister hang out with 20-year-olds. And when my daughter was 14, she definitely wasn't hanging out, and I wouldn't allow her to hang out with 20-year-olds either. But I guess what Bree is saying that sometimes girls might have interest in hanging out with the older crowd, but like you said, Keish, I don't understand why, her parents were okay with that, because I know I wouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't care if it was your big cousin or who it was. You're not gonna be at a party with a bunch of grown men because it's not gonna be an all girls party.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Unfortunately, there's some parents who are just selfish with their time. So if the kid is distracted, especially during the summer, they're like, "Oh, you want to hang out with your friends? Okay, fine, bye." So they're not really giving it a second thought, even though I think Daniel really should, given the fact of what happened with Cassie previously before, and he knows what could really happen with, going to those events, and there's alcohol, things that can happen to his daughter. He should kind of be more, he should be looking out in regards to his child like that, especially since she's choosing not going to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, he has a fast daughter, and they're both trying to zero in on trying to find a new job. So I guess as long as she's distracted enough, I guess it's all that matters to them.
Yeah.
Yes, that was an immediate red. First of all, them even suggesting that Faith and Lucy hang out was just odd in general. Like, they're not in the same age group. That's why this whole, the way they've built this storyline between the two of them just doesn't make sense, because they're not in the same age group. They didn't grow up together, so they don't really know each other like that. They're pretty much just meeting each other just now.
Yeah, she's better suited to maybe hang out with Katie.
Yeah, Katie and Johnny. I don't understand why they don't have a storyline with those three, and why are they forcing? They're forcing this thing with Faith and Lucy, I guess, so they can do what we think might be a repeat of the Daniel Cassie summer storyline, and it's just I don't know.
I agree with that. I think that's what they're really trying to push, because it wasn't that long ago they had Lucy and Johnny and I think Connor too, hanging out together. But once again, she's a teenager. She probably wants to hang. See, she has a lot of curiosities, and that she's mentioned on the show, what's parties like? What's that alcohol taste like? What I'm pretty sure she had a fun college life. She's just curious about those things, and Faith is a gateway to those things. And I'm assuming that maybe Daniel and Heather are looking at Faith okay, well, this is harmless. Maybe Lucy can look to her as as a good influence, without knowing that this is all swirling around in Lucy's head. So I'm wondering if later down the line with the storyline, there's going to be something that will kind of tip Daniel off. Okay, my daughter, she was at this party, she's around this group of people. Maybe I need to look in to see what's going on with my kid. But that usually happens at the 11th hour.
Yeah. I just can't find any rationale or reasoning for why they think it's okay.
So some parents are like that, unfortunately. We get to see a mixture of different types of parenting on the show, especially the thing that happened with Kyle and Summer. But I think they're just more so focused on trying to find some income, and I guess if their daughter's distracted, that's all, and they feel that Faith is harmless. I guess they feel that they feel a little comfortable with the situation. But I'm like, do they ever interact with their daughter to kind of see if she's ever mentioned those sort of curiosities? I'm wondering if they're going to have that in the storyline for those two.
It's not. I feel like it's not even the curiosities thing with her. The general idea, without even knowing all of that other stuff or recognizing anything else going on with her, the general idea of allowing your 14, 15, 16-year-old daughter to go to a college age party where there's going to be alcohol and men and grown men just doesn't make any. There makes no sense. I don't even. They don't even need the extra. They didn't recognize this. It's a 15-year-old girl with 20-year-olds at a party.
Yeah, that doesn't look good on their part. That's why I'm wondering, like, did she say what type of party was? Did she say it was a college party, or did she say it was
a pool party?
But she said she was going with Faith, and Faith is in her. She's 20 now. She's like 19 or 20 now. So you would have to think that if this is a party that Faith was going to, that everybody else at that party is also going to be in their early 20s. And they know it's a pool party because Heather took her shopping for a swimsuit.
She's probably thinking that it's harmless because it's Faith. I don't think I think it went over their head thinking like, okay, maybe Faith is around college kids, college guys. And that's why I would be a little bit more disappointed with Daniel, because like that's your daughter and you kind of have to look out for these things, especially since she's at a very impressionable age. And it's clear that she has a lot of curiosity about everything over.
Yeah. Well, they're idiots.
I couldn't say that again, Keish.
I said they're idiots.
Yeah, they are. There's no way. And the other thing is, with that whole situation is that it'll be different if it was on the ranch or at Sharon's house. You know what I mean? But this was nowhere near the Newmans or anybody else. She was going to her friend's pool party. So my thing is, I always used to ask, who's gonna be there? Who's throwing it? Are any parents around? They was like, oh yeah, go have a good time. It's like, not with a 20-year-old. You're not at 14. You're ninth grade in high school, and they're juniors in college.
It's 2024, y'all. Parents just move a little bit differently, unfortunately. Well, some parents, let me say that, some parents move a little bit differently. As long as she's distracted, some parents are just selfish and kind of wrapped up in what they're doing. Not right. It's not right. It's not okay. But unfortunately, that's how it is in 2024.
It would have made more sense if she was hanging out with Johnny and they found out about the party and then they snuck to the party. Like maybe they lied to their parents about going to the movies or going to do something with their age group of friends, but knew about the party and they snuck off to the party to go hang out at that party. That would have made more sense than Heather and Daniel just agreeing to Lucy going to a college age party with a bunch of 20-somethings that can drink.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to even let you into an 18-year-older club or even a 21-year-older club when you're 14. So, I mean, and I know that's a different type of establishment, but the reason that there's cutoff boundaries and things like that is because they want to limit the liability if something can happen. And it only takes one 21-year-old young man there who might think that she's just as old as everybody else. And that's going to be it's going to be a whole problem. That's why when she was saying that her parents are idiots, I mean, it's not smart to let your child go to an adult party because they are adults.
And this is part of the reason why I gave Y&R C-, because the way they set this storyline up was just stupid and ridiculous.
Belinda.
Is that the minus part?
That's part of it.
Yep, Belinda, and that's what I thought, because I remember also Belinda Hill said, hey, didn't they just have a 21st birthday celebration for Faith last year? And I remember when she came back this summer, Sharon said, since you are officially an adult, so I mean, usually at 21, yeah, that's your official. 18 is the first layer, but then 21 is when you can go into other things. So she might be 21 at this point, and then with her being 4, that's a 7-year age gap. And I get it when you're older, if you're 21 and you're hanging out with a 28-year-old, that's still kind of, but 14 and 21, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
if she's a junior in college, she's at least 21.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
not right. It's not okay. But some parents, they're just okay. There's stories I'll share with you guys in the group chat, but this is 2024. Unfortunately, this is how people live.
all right. Then we move over to the Sharon storyline because, yeah, she had a whole hallucination about kissing Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm wondering, are they trying to throw this in because they want a chic reunion?
I don't know what they're. I feel like they've teased a possibility of those two getting back together multiple times within the last, I don't know, ever since he broke up with Sally. However long that's been, and then nothing happens. So I don't. Who knows what they're doing?
But they also testing him with Phyllis too.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're really going to try to put them back together again, or are they really going to try to put him and Phyllis back? Like, I don't know. But it's been a tease with specifically with Sharon and Nick. I feel like on and off ever since he broke up with Sally, because we thought this around the time that they had done where they did Nick and Lily scene, and we were all getting excited about that. And then they did I forget what the scene was, what the situation was, but they did something with Sharon and Nick, and it looked like they were doing their little flirty thing, and then nothing happened. And then they did Nick's standalone episode where it was basically all about him and Sharon's love story, and we didn't really see anything. It was like, it's been a few weeks since that happened, and really, no scenes between them, and now they got her fantasizing about kissing Nick.
Yeah, and they've been dropping hints, and like Mariah keeps saying, like, oh, I wish my mom could find a great love like this, and like they're hinting at a chick reunion, which I hope they don't go with. To be honest, I'd rather him with Phyllis because that's just more entertaining. I actually think that they're trying to test the waters with that triangle again.
Oh, I'd rather not.
I hope not.
All the key players are in play.
Yeah, I hope they don't go down that road, because otherwise it's going to be, we're back at square one all over again from what, 10, 15 years ago? Yeah.
Well, they refurbished this Cassie storyline.
I know, but I just don't want, if you're going to, I think out of the two of them, I'm kind of with you on that, is to put them back with Phyllis, because Nick and Phyllis were fun together.
And they had no problem doing love scenes either.
Right.
I mean, Sharon and Nick had they had some nice love scenes too, but I do enjoy him better with Phyllis.
Yep. I agree. So I don't know. Because, I mean, I did see Monday's episode, and she's trying to figure out why she had that hallucination. Why is she thinking about kissing Nicholas? So, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're going to go down that route. I guess we'll have to see. But I'm not excited about it. I'll just say that.
I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. Also, I forgot with the Lucy situation. Lucy lied to Daniel about going to that party. Which, I didn't get that part. Did that make sense to you?
I feel like she's probably going to sneak off to that party anyway.
Well, she didn't go. She didn't go.
Because the party already happened?
Yeah, because she lies to Daniel on Monday's episode about going, and she didn't go.
Oh, okay. Maybe she just went back saying that she got uninvited.
She just being a little fast little girl. That makes sense.
Yeah, so.
Her being a fast little girl.
Yep. All right, let's move to the whole thing with Lily and Billy. Billy was so excited about that demerger, he went and had a whole logo change. And Lily was like, pump the brakes, slow your roll. That's not a no-go.
he went to Canva and he put he got extra excited. He went to Canva and he put a whole little presentation logo together, and it was Abbott all extra bold, and you can barely see Chancellor. Oh my goodness, it's gonna really blow up in this man's face, and rightfully so. He's moving very full steam ahead, and I don't feel sorry for him, to be honest.
What about you, Keish?
I agree. I'm not going to feel sorry for him when this blows up in his face. I still think the name change is ridiculous, and I think it has more to do with himself than it does to honor his mother. And I still can't believe that Jill, I'm guessing, was okay with it. It's just that whole name change thing was just stupid to me.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, I'm honoring your legacy. Girl, that ain't even her last name.
Right.
At all. She has 20 different last names.
That's his last name, and he knew that.
Exactly.
He wanted to get some notoriety by putting his name on that building.
That's exactly what it was. It had more to do with him than anything else.
Yep.
It's funny even how. Sorry, go ahead.
I know you're good. I was going to say that even Lily said Chancellor has the bigger name and the longevity as far as the company being around, and nobody was going to know who Abbott Chancellor is. He doesn't have a real identity yet.
Yeah. So she was like, just put it all on the same line. Chancellor dash Abbott. And I guess they came to some sort of agreement with it, but yeah, don't get too comfortable because Victor is coming for you. Which I'm okay with a corporate takeover. I don't know, it just makes it makes the soaps interesting besides romance to me.
It does when it makes sense. And when I feel like we've just been so bogged down with the corporate takeover storylines for the last 3 years, where it's like they keep going with it, and I feel like nothing ever really feels done. Like even with the Chancellor Winters thing, like they combined the corporations, and it was nothing but butting heads and arguing literally the entire time. There was no I didn't feel like there was a period of any lull where they were just doing business. It was always somebody trying to get over on somebody else, or some misunderstanding, or somebody lying. It's just been constant for I feel like the last 2 or 3 years, and I don't know. It's like, okay, when Victor takes over Chancellor, can we get a little bit of a small break where people are just doing business and it isn't somebody trying to take over a company?
Well, I mean, he's, in my opinion, and then, you know what, before we even go there with Victor, also what happened in that office is Devon stopped by, and, I mean, Lily was on high alert, thinking that Devon was going to come in there and say, hey, because she flipped the script on him. She ended up staying. But no, I actually liked the moment between them. They actually put business aside and come back to brother and sister, when he told her that, hey, me and Abby getting married, and she was like, oh, just let me know, send me the save the date, and he was talking about how Ashley is the deciding factor on when they're going to get married because they want her to be out of treatment. But what if she's in treatment for the next 5 years? I mean, okay. But, I thought that was it. I'm like, I'm wondering if they put that in there for a reason. Because we don't know how long Ashley going to be in there.
Exactly. It's real convenient, especially for Abby, which I know we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, we're already here because they did the engagement. She was having cold feet and making excuses, and we had to have Ashley kind of talk her down.
And I don't blame her. She just got out of a marriage with Pam.
When did her divorce go down? Was that in 22?
thought it was 23. Early 23, I thought.
Was it? Okay, wait a minute. So they had it was because in January of 2023 is when Amanda and Chance caught them. That happened in January 2023 because I remember doing some videos on it. So yeah, you're right. Then that divorce and stuff happened early last year.
And they officially made it to be a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that she's fresh off of a divorce, and I keep saying how you guys got together is how that relationship's going to break up. So I'm wondering, and I understand why she feels like, is this really going to last? Is this my person? I mean, they really haven't had a chance to really breathe and actually be a couple for too long. But I can understand why she feels a little apprehensive about trying to get back into another marriage. That's understandable. And plus, Devon doesn't even have the best track record when it comes to women either.
And she was talking about her track record with her marriages. Who was she married? She was married to Chance. She was married. Wasn't she married to Arturo?
I think they were engaged, but they never made it.
Okay. And who else was she married to?
Bitch.
Yeah, Nick. That was Dylan's army friend, right? With the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And she lost her baby, and so she's been through quite a bit. And on top of that, she has helped other people cheat in their marriages too. So she doesn't have the best track record, and neither does Devon. But for whatever reason, Devon feels they're a match made in heaven, I guess. So I find it really convenient for her to say, like, we're going to wait till my mom is out of treatment and then we'll set a date. Okay, that's to be announced. So that's a very convenient thing for her to say.
You know what I appreciate, though, about them is I feel like they didn't harp on marriage the whole time that they've been dating. Kind of like how, or like the status of their relationship. It was just like they dated, they were a couple, and their storyline didn't revolve around like, what are we doing? What is our status? Like, what is our future, like, necessarily? Kind of like how that was the one thing that annoyed me about Thomas and Hope, was that every conversation I feel like they had together centered around how much he loved her, like what their future was going to be, whether or not, they could be committed to each other. And then, like, when he started talking about marriage, that was all it was marriage, commitment. And I felt like just about every scene that they had together was like that. And I love that Devon and Abby weren't like that. Like, they were living their life. They were dating. They were in love, whatever. It was like they did other things, and their storyline or their story didn't surround, like, what they were doing as far as whether they were going to get married or not, or, what they wanted to do as far as that was concerned. So I appreciate that they didn't, like, harp on that a lot. And now, they're talking about it, which I didn't really read we're going to wait for Ashley to get out of treatment as a bad thing, because he just asked her for one. So they haven't even really had a chance to think about it. And it was like he asked her on a whim. He didn't have a ring yet. So I don't know, which that part of it was the odd thing to me, the way he explained it to Lily. And saying, well, she wasn't a Winters yet, so I figured this was a good time to make her a Winters because she's taking over your role in the company. And it's like, is that why you asked her to marry you? Just so she can change her last name and officially be a Winters while she's working there? Like, that was weird. And I know he cleared it up with Lily because she kind of asked him the same thing. But that was just an odd way to come about the idea of asking her to marry him, was because she's going to work at the Winters corporation now.
Well, I gotta say that Abby is collecting that last name. She's already a Newman, Abbott, Chancellor, Winters now coming up. She didn't collected all of the players' names in town. 2 of them came by the birth order because her mom is an Abbott, and of course, her dad is Victor Newman. But the other 2 names came from a marriage. I wonder, did she drop the Chancellor? Because, I mean, obviously she's divorced from Chance.
I remember somebody pointing out in the chat, this was like, I don't know how many months ago, or maybe it was something that I saw on social media, but somebody pointed out, I think it was Abby's name in the credits, still has all of her,
that was
her
me.
names. Was that you? Still has.
Yeah, I think I sent a screenshot.
Yeah, didn't you say that all of her names are still attached?
In the credit.
To her character.
Sure is. And I think it still is.
Exactly. So I'm wondering in the credits, are they going to throw Winters on there now? It's like, golly.
I guess they will. If they make it to the altar.
Yeah, if they make it to the altar. That's a good question. All right. Moving on to the Newmans. Because we were talking about Billy being all excited. Victor made an announcement that Adam is going to be permanent over at Newman Media, and they weren't happy about that until they found out that he's acquiring Chancellor, and because of the connection of Catherine with Nikki, he was going to give her Chancellor to run. Do you think that she's actually going to be ready to run such a big corporation, almost as big as Newman?
No, but she's gonna take on the task. She seems excited about it now. She's like, Catherine would want me to do it. She forgot all about Newman Media that quick, right?
Right. Exactly. And the thing is like, okay, she got to finish her sobriety training, her sobriety out therapy. That's it. And that's the reason why Adam is over there in the first place before Victor made this decision. It's like, are you going to be okay enough to run this big old company?
Right.
And Adam, because at first when she was having second thoughts, Adam was like, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
And the thing is,
and he's more qualified.
Yeah. And if this was something like a company that she was familiar with, like she was talking about how familiar she is with like everything Newman, it would be, I would feel differently about it. But she's basically like, I don't really know that much about Chancellor. And there's been, 2 or 3 different people in the last couple of weeks that have talked about how big Chancellor is. And I think they even said today that Chancellor is even bigger than the Newman umbrella. So I don't know. I feel like where she is in her life right now, what she's battling as far as her alcoholism, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
Yep, I agree. And it's not
Victor was going to give her.
Go ahead, Bree.
I'm sorry, Vic. I was going to say Victor was going to give her anything to be distracted from Newman Media. Whatever he was going to throw at her, she was going to take it.
I don't know. Why not give her Newman Media and give somebody else Chancellor? Like, let her at least be somewhere where she's comfortable and familiar. Why put her out there in that huge, gigantic corporation that she has to learn? She's got to learn about it all and stress her out even more.
She's extra distracted, which is what Victor wants.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Adam is qualified. He has the business degree and everything in order to run this company.
Yeah, it's like Victor is asking for that company to fail under her.
Yep.
And then to stress her out even more than what she is.
I agree. But it looked like she changed her mind today, and so did Victoria, because Victoria was about 2 seconds off of calling Billy. to tell him what was going on. And then when Nikki said, you know what, I really want this bad, she was like, all right, cool, I'll just deal with Billy later. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Oh, and did you hear what she said in regards to her kids? She was like, oh, well, they're Newmans, they'll understand. So that their kids don't have their daddy's last name?
Exactly. Because they are Abbotts.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, if it's left, if Katie gave that whole indication of how she wasn't too happy about the Claire situation, I can imagine Katie pitching a fit up to her mama about the fact of what happened with her father.
I would say yes and no, because there's been so many change of hands within the Newman umbrella, and both her mom and her dad as far as jobs. So she probably just wasn't going to get any thought to it, to be honest.
What do you think, Keish?
What was the question? I'm sorry. I was making coffee.
Oh, I know I heard something back there. No, I was saying, do you think Katie is going to be upset because her mom did not warn her father about Victor coming for them?
I don't even know that they would even drill it down that far to where the kids even have an opinion or a say.
Okay. I just figure if they're going to bring Katie back and she got all this attitude, she had enough with Claire. I was saying I'm wondering if they're going to make her upset with what happened with her father. So.
Yeah. That's why they need to have Lucy hang out with them. She can be jealous of Lucy and her brother being friends and cause trouble there. And continue to cause trouble with Claire, too.
I think that would have been a cool storyline. Maybe she don't trust her. You know, I'm looking out for my brother, and because they were originally Kim testing them too anyway, a year or two ago. And now that this boy came back, he all big and tall and whatnot, I would think Lucy would be like, oh wow, cute guy.
No, she a fast little girl. She wants older. There's some girls who are just like that.
So, yeah, this will be interesting to see where what happens with Billy, because, I don't know, Victoria's like, yeah, well, since you want the company, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
All right.
Billy's gonna spiral, though.
What you saying?
I said Billy's going to spiral.
My question is he going to try to go over to Jabot again?
He really has no choice. I mean, he has a choice. He can do whatever he wants. But, what other options does he have that he's qualified for?
Yeah, that's the only place he can go. Kyle is gone. So he might be like, hey, Victor came after me. I didn't do nothing wrong. And especially since Victor coming after Jack too. So maybe they might team up together.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think that will happen.
Yep. All right. We got Chelsea and Adam. And Adam is lying to cover for what he took one on the chin, knowing that Billy was going to be mad at him, and made it look like he went off on Chelsea, which is why they're acting that way. And of course, Billy wanted to punch him in the face. And in my opinion, either he's going to have to tell Chelsea that story too, or else somebody, either Billy or whoever, probably Billy going to come to Chelsea and be like, I heard what happened, and I wanted to punch him in the face. And then she'd be like, no, don't do that. He told you. I didn't mean to cheat on you. And she'd be like, what? Cheat? He said something else.
She was extra erratic in that preview. I do know that.
Yeah. 1,000% is going to be the one that
spills the bean.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Can't take it. She can't take the guilt.
Nope. And then here's the other thing: where the writers going with this too? Are y'all trying to put Chelsea and Adam back together? Because Connor's coming home next week, and so they're gonna have to work together to keep everything normal and get him back together. Get him back on track with living at home and stuff like that. So, where are we going with these two now?
Rinse and repeat.
I hope not. I'm over the whole Chelsea and Adam thing. They toxic together.
So were Nikki and Victor, but they celebrated a 40-year anniversary early this year.
I can see them doing it to where Sally and Adam are able to reconcile, but not Chelsea and Billy, because Billy hates Adam so much, and I think that'll end up breaking up.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the end goal is with this one. If they're going to actually try to put these two together or not, But they slept together. Is there a baby they could throw in this? What if she popped pregnant? Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either.
Yeah, me too. That's it's just ugh. I think they're gonna put Lily and Billy back together. That's what it's looking like to me.
Okay.
I don't see that either.
Well, there is a spoiler. I mean, I'm not interested in that again. Like you say, rinse, wash, and repeat. But there is a spoiler about Billy crossing the line with Lily. Now, that could mean that could mean business. I'm hoping that's what that means.
That's what I assumed, that it was a business thing.
So you know the spoiler that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just a business thing.
He's so pushy, I feel like, when it comes to the business stuff with her. Just like with the name stuff. Like, it's been, a day? And you, like Bree said, you done already went to the place and had your little presentation board done and trying to get that name changed. And it's like, why don't you just relax for a second? Like, I can already see where this is going. I don't understand why Lily thought that her and Billy would work well together, because they didn't work well together last time.
Exactly. But then she go into the... Go ahead, Bree.
I'm sorry. I guess she feels like, since Jill kind of entrusts her when it comes to Billy, even when they were in a relationship, that she can probably get a hold of Billy in a different sort of way. But this man is very impulsive. As soon as Jill gave him that her power to Billy, he went ahead and went to other companies to let everyone know that he's in charge.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his sister is having a mental break.
My question is Lily going to be... Is she going to feel betrayed or upset when she finds out that Jill sold Chancellor to Victor?
Yeah, because, Victor is banking on the fact that Jill is ready to retire, which she probably is. She probably take her ball home and run. And all the money Victor... And he already done bought Mamie shares, because Mamie sold back her shares to Victor. And it's only a sliver, but he's like, shoot, listen, she's ready to retire. The other thing is, who knows, Jess Walton is probably ready to retire too. I'm not saying that's just us having conversation, but I wouldn't be surprised, because they keep putting her on video chat. What else is they going to have her come back to do?
I agree, but she's been on the show for about 30, 40 years.
Right.
So go ahead and retire, relax. Life is short. I don't blame her. And plus, Lily really can't say anything. She's always been an employee. She has no skin in the game.
Nope.
She's collecting a check. That's all she can do.
Yep.
Yeah, there isn't anything she can say. I just wonder how she will feel, because she she always talks about being loyal to Jill and not letting Jill down and blah blah blah. So I just wonder how she'll feel when she finds out that. And I wonder if they'll. It will make sense for Jill to tell her, but I wonder. I didn't see her in the previews next week. I wonder if Jill is going to be the one that she finds that news out from, or is she going to end up hearing it from Victor first?
Yeah.
Well, when she gave power to Billy, she didn't bother to tell Lily that.
That is true.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you're an employee. I mean, you would think she should have told Lily, but nope.
Well, it's not even the employee thing. It's she keeps referencing how close they are and how Jill is like family to her and blah. Like, I feel like she always defends siding with Jill because Jill is like family to her.
Mm-hmm.
So even outside of she's just an employee, she looks at Jill as family. So it would just be very messed up if Jill didn't have that conversation with her before Victor has a chance to.
I mean, she still claims Maddie and Charlie as her grandchildren, so they're intertwined, they're family. But even still, she made it very clear where her loyalties lie. And despite the fact she doesn't trust Billy all that much, even though that's her son, her loyalty was with her son. She even bothered to tell Lily about giving her power away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Lily falls on a totem pole.
That was the other thing.
I agree with you.
The other thing,
Lily, for whatever reason, doesn't see herself that low on the totem pole because I feel like she puts Jill above everybody else.
On her end.
On Lily's end, yeah.
Right.
She puts Jill above, I feel like, everybody else.
She also...
outside of her kids, of course, but...
Yeah, she also wanted to keep from Lily the fact that she was sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's why I feel like that relationship is it just seems lopsided to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because she always seems so worried about Jill's feelings and what Jill will think about her and, upsetting Jill or disappointing Jill. And here Jill is, like, not telling her about her illness. She obviously has not talked to her about her thoughts of selling the company, what she did with Billy. Like, she's loyal to Jill, but Jill doesn't seem that way with her.
Right. I agree. But yeah, this is going to be interesting when Billy and Lily finds out that Victor is coming to knocking.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it seems that Victor is willing to keep, if Nikki wants, keep Lily on, but Billy got to go.
Oh, yeah. Victor ain't messing with Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question. When Devon and Victor were talking, did it seem like Devon knew what was going to happen with Chancellor?
I don't think so.
I didn't get that feeling.
When he asked for Victor's blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't pick. I just think they just got this. Devon admires Victor Newman, Mr. Newman.
Yeah, Mr. Newman. I'm like, this is going to be your future father. Are you still calling him Mr. Newman? I'm like, oh, Lord.
He admires the heck out of Victor. And I think, of course, Victor sees him as an extension of Neil and things like that. But do he actually realize what he's getting himself into? Not just marrying Abby, but marrying into that Newman family. I mean, Chance just got out of that. He had to cover up a whole crime. Victor is going to figure out a way to use Devon as part of the pawn and then going to hold the fact of, well, you part of this family. Good luck with that, Devon.
Yeah. I can't wait for Devon to screw up and Victor really puts it. I need for Devon to see the other side of Victor. I'm so sick of him like kissing up to Victor. He doesn't even mention his own father. He doesn't mention Tucker at all. And that was the other irritating part I wanted to touch on. Why did he go to Victor about Ashley when she was with Tucker for many years? Wouldn't he have a better scope as to what her mental state was more than Victor?
Who did that?
Devon went to Victor and asked him about his take on what was going on with Ashley. And even Victor's like, I don't know. But why didn't he... That's what I don't understand, what his issue was with Tucker, because Tucker was married to Ashley. He was the one who pointed out that there was something wrong with Ashley. Wouldn't he have a better scope as to what was going on with her and her mental state? I mean, he had to tell Abby to check on her own mother.
I think that just boils down to them or him not trusting. He's never really built any real trust with Tucker, so I don't think he's going to ever consider going to him and inquiring about Ashley's mental state or, concerns like that.
And here's the other thing, too, is that Devon don't even realize that Victor was the one that took his company. I mean, I know he probably don't care, but he admires Victor so much. And I'm like, Victor is worse than Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does Tucker do some zany things? Yes, but Victor is way worse.
Yeah.
But
just ask his kid.
Exactly. But he's about, like you say, Bree, I hope he get a taste of what it's like to be connected with the Newman family. His cousin Nate did it twice.
Yep.
When he was with Abby, he almost lost his medical license. When he was with Victoria, we see how that went. They set him up to get fired.
Yeah.
So, as I said on my recap, good luck with that one, Devon, because Victor's playing nice with you right now, but wait till he needs something from you. Ask Cole. Cole, even though they helped him get out of trouble, he's begged to get back in Victor's forgiveness for what?
Oh, yeah.
JT can't stand him. Billy can't stand him. All of them. Sally, that girl was pregnant and wanted that man wanted her to leave town.
Yeah. He's going to get his. He's going to probably get it in the worst way in comparison to the others, too.
Yeah, so he's not even looking at that part, because if there's something Victor needs that he can utilize right now, Devon is on the outside. So he's kind of like dealing with him with a long-handled spoon. When he gave him that seal of approval, he's thinking in the back of his mind like, okay, what can I use him for? Oh man. All right. We did have a cute little scene between Taraya, because they celebrated their anniversary. They are so quirky with these little squid heads, and then they had squid ink pasta or something.
Yeah, they can enjoy that. I'm good on that.
I mean, I do like a good plate of calamari, but yeah, I don't know about the squid ink pasta though. But they had a cute little scene. Cute moment. Happy anniversary to them. Before we get into the biggest thing this week, we gotta talk about Alan and Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy.
I know. Please, writers, don't let this be Martin. Please.
Now they're going to listen to this, and guess what? It's going to be Martin.
Girl.
I got a bad feeling.
You got a bad... Everybody's been saying that in the comment section, like, as much as I like this, I think this might be Martin.
I know.
And it'd be good soap drama. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be very unfortunate for Tracy, but what I like so far, this is such a cute interaction. He was just like he dropped his meetings, his speaking engagements, and he's like, well, I wanted to focus all my time on you. I was like, oh.
Girl, what got me is when she asked him to go to LA, and he was like, how much time you gonna give me to pack? I was like, what?
Get your girl.
What'd you say?
I was like, get your girl.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm glad they found an actor and a character that these two got a lot of chemistry together. They're
Mm-hmm.
cute together. I mean, because obviously they tried to do the little thing with her and Kane, and that didn't work out. I didn't see it anyway, but for whatever storyline it was. But these two, I think it's perfect. And I was joking on Wednesday, so you guys that wasn't in the chat on Wednesday when Bree and I did the midweek, since she's headed to LA, I told her maybe she ought to stop and have a conversation with Brooke and get a couple of pieces from the bedroom line since she got a little manses down in LA with her.
You know what? They might end up doing that because on both they're really pushing that celebrating your body at every age. I can see them doing a little quick trip over there, and especially since Esther was over there, bring Tracy over there for an episode, and she get pieces of lingerie for Alan. I love that.
That would have been the perfect crossover. If she's heading to LA before Brooke leaves to go to Monaco, Monte Carlo, I think that would have been really cute. She showed up to Forrester Creations, and I would think that the Forresters know the Abbotts, okay? And she's like, "Here, I'm in town. My book is about to be made into a movie, but I understand you got the bedroom line, and I would like to see a couple of pieces because I have a new boyfriend. Whatever." I think that would have been the cutest little quick crossover that Y&R and Bo could have did with Tracy and with Brooke, especially since, like you said, they're trying to talk about, intimate beauty at different ages, and that would have been perfect with her being in LA.
Mm-hmm. And they know the Newmans and the Abbotts. Jack was over there. Nikki was over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know Lauren has been back and forth on both shows, so they're no strangers. So I would have loved to see that, but that requires good writing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. So I was so happy about these two, and the fact that it seems like he's smitten with her. It's equal. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's trying to get his attention or vice versa. They're equally interested in each other. So the connection is definitely there. All right. We got to get into this last biggest storyline this week, and that is this whole thing with Kyle and Summer and Harrison. Phyllis in her big old mouth is running, gassing her up, making her think that Kyle is jumping in bed with Audra Charles. I'm like, where y'all getting that from? These two can't stand each other. They barely want to work together, and the only reason that they are is because Victor is forcing them to.
Mm-hmm. This is the other half of the reason why this show has gotten a C- for me.
Oh, do explain. Go ahead, Keish.
I feel like all of Summer's anger should have stayed with Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Her distrust for Claire, and it just doesn't. To me, it just doesn't make any sense that they have transferred her target to Audra.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kyle and Audra are working together when we know Kyle and Audra aren't, even in a romantic relationship anymore. They're literally just co-workers.
Right.
So her developing this whole mistrust where Harrison is concerned with Audra, just it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
It should have been, instead of them having her like concede to the whole Claire thing, this is what she should still be fighting him on.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it just cheapens the storyline and the argument and the anger that she has about Kyle and what's going on with Harrison, because she's complaining about Audra.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, it makes her look like a jealous ex, and then she just looks very, very irrational right now.
Yeah.
Like the whole stunt that she pulled, which Kyle also was being petty because he originally was not supposed to go to Paris either. That was just Audra going, and I think he only wants to go because he wants to keep tabs on what Audra is doing because he doesn't trust her.
Mm-hmm.
And then he threw Harrison in to piss off Summer. but everything that Summer did to keep Harrison from going to Paris was goofy too. So they're both being edged right now because really, if Kyle really wanted to take Harrison to Paris and spend some father son time together, then do it when you're not going on a business trip to where you have to take your nanny with you. But Summer going to however many judges she had to go to get an order to keep Kyle from taking as if Kyle was just going to stay in Paris with Harrison and never come back that was overboard and ridiculous.
Well, technically, right. She kind of threw a little bit of a white lie on top of her attorney. See, and okay, so there were some people thinking that okay, maybe she have some sort of legal standing and rights in regards to the custody. The only reason that Harrison can't go is because there's a pending case. So as long as, even if that case has merit or not, it's not completed. So that's the only reason that they found that loophole to say, well, we haven't made a ruling, we haven't even been to court, but because there's a pending case coming up, he can't go nowhere. And the judge went with it.
Yeah.
That's all that was. And then you got Phyllis talking about playing dirty, take some time off and go hang out with Harrison while he's in Paris. Take all these pictures because you're going to need that to look good with the judge. And I'm like, the girl need to go find a house first.
Right.
You worried about pictures. She's still in the hotel as of this moment.
Yeah.
And that is true.
And she just looks, when she was saying today, how like she wants to take Harrison on all these little vacations and trips and stuff like that. And Phyllis was like, she was naming like all these places in the States. And then Phyllis was like, in Paris too. And she was like, well, yeah, maybe someday. And it's like, you're doing this because you're jealous because you weren't the one taking him to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You wanted to be the one to experience all these things with Harrison. And you're mad that you're not doing it. And Kyle was taking Claire, and that would have been Harrison's first experience, and you weren't invited.
Yep, I agree. What you got, Bree?
I wasn't surprised by something because it's always going to be something when it comes to these not paternity, but like the child custody cases on soaps. It usually always goes in the unfavorable parties. But favor, I guess. So I knew this was going to happen with Summer, and I think she's going to end up getting full custody because this judge did not care if she was a biological mother or not. He went with who he felt was suitable, or he is going with who is suitable at the time, and he's going with basically what she's saying. So more than likely, the same judge is going to rule in her favor. They really just need a mediator. I understand that she is feeling insecure about her placement in Harrison's life, and Kyle letting her know that she's not the biological mother only fuels this woman's fire and is not good for their son. He even keeps referring both Harrison and Kyle still refer to Summer as the mother of that child, even throughout everything. So I don't see why they couldn't work it out. And this whole temporary thing came to play when Kyle wanted to be petty and she wanted to be petty. It's too much tit for tat. And no one's focusing on Harrison. It's unfortunate, but I think the result of this is she's going to end up getting full custody or full custody or have a majority of custody or whatever the case is.
And then this is what I want to refer to Paris Barnes' comment in the comment section. She said, I wish someone will just tell someone it's Victor pulling the strings. The scenes with Summer, Kyle, Claire, and Phyllis was funny to her. She thinks she has valid feelings, but it's done the wrong way. And that's the thing. if he loses his son to Summer because she's worried about Audra, Kyle is going to have to go to Victor that's like, look, I got to say something. I'm about to lose my son because your granddaughter is upset because I'm working with Audra.
That's not going to look good on Kyle's part because Victor's not going to go against his family. He's made that very clear. If anything, he's going to give Summer the ammo to really get full custody of that child. That's not going to look good. I think that's why he's not even remotely trying to mention what's going on with him. Because weren't they at Society when Victor came in and was trying to celebrate with Abby and Devon about the engagement? He could have brought it up then since he was meeting up with the lawyer, but he didn't. He didn't, wisely so, because that's still Victor Newman's granddaughter. And he's going to back up his family whether they're right or wrong.
I guess I don't even see like what argument she could make in court for why she would deserve full custody over anything that Kyle is doing in his current position. Like what evidence or proof does she have that Kyle is being harmful to Hairston because of his job?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, even if it is, even if she found out that this company is Victor's company, I still don't see what difference it would make, because she's just pissed off that he's working with Audra in general.
Yeah, but in her mind, she thinks that they're in a romantic relationship, and Phyllis is pushing that idea. Somewhere along the line, both of them are going to have to realize that they don't even want to be in the same space. They were both trying to run Glissade without the other. But for whatever reason, and that she didn't conjure it up in her mind, is that they're in bed with each other again. And Phyllis is like, oh yeah, of course they are. They're going to be gallivanting around Paris together and their little romantic tryst. And it's like, y'all don't have a clue.
I don't know how I can even prove that they're not sleeping together, though, other than maybe if Audra says, I'm dating Nate. Because he said to her today something about how she's assuming, or she thinks that he and Audra have something going on. And I still don't, I think even with him saying that, I don't think Summer believes that they're not. So it's like, if her only issue is she thinks that Audra and Kyle are sleeping together, then what would it take for her to not believe that? And once she realizes that they're not sleeping together, does she still have a problem that he's working with Audra just because she doesn't like Audra? You know what I mean? Or will she let it go because she knows that they're not sleeping together anymore, which that's even more weird because you guys aren't in a relationship. You guys aren't married anymore. You have a boyfriend. Like, why would that bother you? Either way.
That's valid, but unfortunately, especially on this show, there's a lot of people who are raising other people's kids. And that's why it's not going to be too far-fetched for this woman to get full custody, in my opinion. Just the fact that any judge would even remotely listen to what she was saying without a valid base to go on. And she had a very stern judge who they said can't be bribed or whatever the case is, agree in her favor. It won't really take much for that judge to say, hey, I agree with you. I'll go ahead and let you get full custody, because unfortunately DNA doesn't matter in 2024. And I'll keep saying that again. It's whoever is suitable for that kid, because unfortunately there's some parents who, regardless of DNA, whoever's going to be suitable for that child. That's why some grandparents and guardians are raising other people. It won't be too far-fetched. It'll be good. It'll be good drama for the soaps, but unfortunately, this is a sad way that they're dragging down Summer's character. I don't like this, and they're also making Phyllis look really stupid. I honestly feel that she's trying to be in her daughter's good graces after what she did to her own child. But both of her kids, trying to play like was unalive and then come back to life. So I think she's still trying to kiss the feet of her kids. So she'll go along with Summer just to get her good graces, even though she knows it's wrong. And she keeps saying that she's been in the same predicament. But, I mean, she's giving her daughter little extra tips, and this might actually work in her favor.
I think what's going to end up happening, because he is, because him and Jack have had their falling out, and Jack and Diane have been saying for weeks now, like, what's going on with him? Like, this isn't him. He's, acting out of character. Not, in those exact words, but basically they feel like he's acting out of character or not himself, and there's something going on with him. I wonder if this does get to court, if Jack and Diane would be on Summer's side, because they're so pissed off at Kyle right now with how he's been acting, that they would side with her and like testify on her behalf, just because they're pissed at Kyle. I think that might be the thing that would tip it over the edge for Summer. But I don't think Summer going in there by herself, I don't think she would be awarded custody of Harrison.
And that makes me wonder if Victor will get involved. Somewhere along the line, she's going to get that information that Kyle is working for Victor. Either it's going to be used to her advantage, and she can go to her grandfather and say, like, hey, I'm at risk of losing my place in Harrison's life. This is what's going on with me. And Victor, him, he'll be like, I'll take care of that. Or Victor might stay completely out of it altogether. But either which way, I think the families are going to stay loyal. I honestly feel, even though Jack and Diane are pissed off at Kyle, I don't think they would go against Kyle, especially when it comes to family members. I don't think that.
But preview for next week, I don't know.
I will say, somebody wrote an article saying that it's time to bring Tara Locke back, and I agree with that.
You know what? If it takes Tara coming back to cut off Kyle and Summer from being connected, I will take it. She can come back and take her kid back. That way Summer can just worry about Chance and not have to worry about Kyle anymore.
Yep, it would be interesting. Yeah, it would definitely be interesting to ask Tara Locke to come back, because I don't know, how long would you serve a term for taking money out of your own company, I guess. I don't know how long the term is for that, but she's been gone for at least, 5 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But that little boy doesn't even think of Tara. He thinks of Summer as his mother. And that would really confuse that kid, in my opinion. If that's who he feels as his mom and that's been taking care of him whilst his biological mother has been locked away, that's who he feels as his mother. So I don't think that would be good for him. Maybe for to help Kyle out to get.
No, that's
case, maybe
he knows his biological mother. We haven't gotten scripted dialogue with him saying anything about Tara, but that boy knows his mom, his biological mom. He knows that she exists. They came to town together. He wasn't a teeny baby. He was probably 3 or 4 at the time. So yes, he has the de facto mom through Summer, but he also knows his biological mom, which of course I would think he also still have a connection with her. We just haven't seen any dialogue or scripted content where he's talking about Tara.
Yeah.
At all. He's not even focused on that. That's why it's her.
Well, we're not sure. That's what I'm saying. We're not sure if he's focused because they haven't written it in. But what I'm saying is that boy know his mother, his biological mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I understand. But
yeah, I get what you're saying, Brie. It would definitely be probably a confusing thing for Harrison. I'm just saying from a viewer standpoint, I'm so tired of them pulling Summer back into Kyle and his mess. If they bring Tara back, let Kyle and Tara deal with each other and let Summer move on from Kyle. Because I'm tired of seeing her be sucked into his drama.
Yep. Okay, we got it's 9:31 y'all time. We've been on Young and the Restless for an hour and a half. And I see some folks in the comments like, okay, I'm getting sleepy. I'll be back. Because, I think on this channel we have more Bold fans than we do Y&R fans, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess. Either way, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, we going to. I think we covered everything on Y&R, correct?
Yeah, we definitely dissected it.
Yeah, we did. We absolutely did. And yeah, we're gonna move over to bold. But before we move over to bold, make sure how many people in the chat.
There is, yeah, there was 120. Yeah, almost 120.
Okay, great.
It's been steady most of the night.
Redneck said, "Come on, I'm crossing over." All right, because I know Rednax is a bold fan. And by the way, we got to send a happy birthday to Rednax. His birthday is today. Yeah, I know. I saw a whole comment thread in my in the bold video today, and all of the birthday wishes for Rednax. So, happy birthday! Have a great one and a good birthday weekend. It's good when the birthdays fall on the weekend because you can do a lot of stuff. Yes. And I think
I wish I could do a birthday song.
Listen, this man has a whole fan club over here.
I see that. I should give him a quick little birthday song. Go ahead. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Oh, Lord. Oh, that was it?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, man. Well, make sure you eat a lot of cake. Maybe stop at Nothing But Cakes because they have wonderful cakes there. I don't know if you're a cake person. So, again, happy birthday. And make sure all of you guys hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on multiple platforms: YouTube, Threads, Rumble, TikTok, IG, Facebook group. I did drop the link for. Oh, you're welcome, Rednecks. You are so welcome. And make sure you follow us on those other platforms as well. All right, we got to go ahead and dive. Oops. We got to go ahead. Sorry about that, you guys. The little thing hit my computer. We got to go ahead and dive into the bold and the beautiful for the week of 7/22 through 7/26. And it goes a little something like this. So Finn rebuffs Hope's advances, and though worried she's too old, Brooke agrees to model, while Sheila's released without charges. Katie confronts Poppy for warning Bill about her, and Brooke is appalled. Hope thinks Steffi doesn't deserve Finn. After Bill welcomes Lee to the family, Katie asks her if the paternity test could be wrong. Hope is gloating to Steffi, who is stunned that Brooke's going to Monte Carlo, and Katie digs into Poppy's past. And then Katie suggests Tom was Luna's father and that Poppy was the one that got rid of him. All right, let's start off at the beginning of the week because we had this whole thing with stupid Finn decide to go and stay in a room, even turn around and close the door, and have a whole conversation with the woman that his wife despises right now. Who want to tackle that first?
You can go ahead, Steve.
I'll give Finn credit for rejecting Hope. But him when he was walking out the room and you got that text from Deacon, him deciding to go back in the room and close the door and carry on a conversation with Hope as if this woman didn't just try coming on to him and didn't just try to basically ask him to cheat on his wife with her. It makes no sense. He is an idiot for that. Because it's like, it's almost as if he just disregarded that whole little interaction and he just went right on back in there and just carried on a normal conversation. And I don't understand it. It just it blows my mind. It doesn't make any sense, because the minute she did that, I would have loved for Finn to have said to Hope, Steffy was right about you, because that would have pissed her off.
Yep. And
but he's just I just feel like he acts so dense when it comes to her, or I mean, heck, when it comes to anybody, because he acts dense with Sheila too sometimes. And it's just like, fine, you rejected her, but you need to do more than that, because she sat there and laughed about it. And then said to you, "Don't count me out," after, I forget what he said to her. I think he said something like, he said something about his wife or something about Steffy. And then she was like, "Well, don't count me out yet." And it's like, she's sitting here joking with you and laughing with you about this, disrespecting your wife. And you're just going to let it roll off your back, knowing how Steffy feels about her, and knowing the history that they had with Liam, and she's doing this right now. It was very frustrating.
What you got, Bree?
I touched on it a little bit on Wednesday, but Hope is a failed 304. How do you fail your mother's genetic? Her mother would have had no problem. She has had no problem seducing men. She's probably had maybe like 10% of her career where she had failed to try to get a man. And I think she pointed out when Ridge was with Caroline. But other than that, Brooke has never missed. The fact that she was struggling to even get this man like turned on and excited, she was like, "What do you think? I mean, can a girl dream?" And it was just a fail. And I'm like, you're a Logan. This should come naturally to you. I mean, you want it to come naturally to you, but you would do your mother no justice with what you had on. The fact that he was around all those ugly fashions in the background, that's why he was quick to shut you down.
When you say all those ugly fashions.
There was like that ugly little shawl, the prom dresses, the farm dresses, everything. Nothing was sexy about that. She had Ric Flair's robe on, the jangled robe, whatever the case is she had on. It wasn't going to do anything for that man. Give Brooke a garbage bag and she'd be able to seduce a man. How are you going to fail your mother like this?
I know. I mean, go ahead.
But anywho, I was on Finn's side that Friday, where he started to shut her down in the beginning part of the episode of Monday. Then the fact that he closed the door, you open that door for that woman to do whatever in that room. You know she's in lingerie. You know she's trying to come on to you. You know that this is about her getting even with Steffy. You called it out, and you still choosing to be in a room with her. You're a big loser at the end of the day. And I'm mad that Steffy even gave you some, because you didn't deserve it.
Bree, you said it. You said exactly the thing. He called Hope out and said, "Is this about Steffy? Are you doing this because you and Steffy got into an argument," or whatever it was he said? He called out exactly what she was doing. And Hope even said, maybe it is, but that's not all it's about. Like she just told you to your face that she's doing what she's doing right now, and disrespecting your wife because she's pissed at her.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you still choosing to share. You're sharing all this intimacy with her. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It's the fact that you know that you're able to go to her about Sheila, and that this is a little intimacy thing that you can share with Hope. You leave that door open for this girl. And now that you know that she's attracted to you, wants to get at you, wants to throw it on you, I applaud you in a very small way that you shut her down. But you should have been walking out that door. As soon as you got that text or that call, you should have kept on walking and go up to your wife. Why did you even remotely entertain this girl? Why?
Yeah, that's what Jan in the comments section. She said Finn get the news that Sheila is out, which is devastating the wife, but instead of going to Steffi, he goes and tell Hope. And he didn't even tell Steffi, even when he was sitting there. He was like, well, I didn't know how you were going. What did he say? I didn't know how you were going to react.
Yes.
He said I had reservations or something like that, as if she wasn't going to find out.
Right. So you had no problems telling that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I was like, you had no problem sharing this with Hope as soon as you got the text message. And actually, before she even found out about this, before Steffi found out about Sheila's release, Steffi asked her husband, well, what took you so long to get to me? And he just had a little stuck, stupid look on his face. I thought you were open and honest. I thought you had nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Right, sir. I thought this is innocent, right?
Yeah, he didn't
know what he's going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going to come out. And when it comes out, he's going to say, I didn't tell you because your relationship with her is already so strained and you were already so stressed that I didn't want to add to it. I rejected her, so it didn't matter. And it's like, no, it does matter because she has a right to know that this woman is disrespecting her.
Actively, continuously.
Yeah. Like how stupid that... okay, she doesn't look stupid, but how, like, in today's episode, when they're all in the room together and Hope is sitting there staring at them, she knows that she was just the day before trying to come on to her husband, and Finn knows that she did it, but Steffi doesn't know. But they're all standing in the room together, like, she has no clue. It's just that would piss me off, and he deserves to be cussed out when she does find out.
Oh, yes. And the fact that she even went to her husband off screen and said all the stuff that Liam was saying behind his back out of courtesy of her husband, and every chance that she gets, she tries to defend her husband. You couldn't even remotely tell your wife that her enemy is actively trying to pursue you, and you're perfectly fine being comfortable in a room. And actually, I think he was also trying to convince Steffi to try to work things out with Hope. The same man who won't work things out with his brother-in-law, by the way.
Right.
Well,
that's what gets me.
I've been reading across Soap social media, and some people are saying, like you mentioned, he kept that from Steffi about the fact that she came on to him just as much as Steffi kept the fact that Liam kissed her.
It makes me wonder if that's another thing that she told him off screen, because we didn't know about that, about her even telling Finn about the stuff that Liam was saying until Finn mentioned it last week when he was talking to Liam. So it's like, are the kisses another thing that she told him about that we don't know about?
I think so.
For me, regardless of if we know that the stuff that happened between her and Liam, but it doesn't excuse Finn from not telling her what Hope is doing. Especially when he, for the last few weeks, has heard his wife venting to him about the stress that she's going through at work, having to deal with Hope and Brooke, as she feels that they don't respect her position. So that she's going through all this stress and drama with them, being disrespectful to her, from her standpoint as the CEO of the company, on top of the fact that this woman is also telling you that she's attracted to you and basically asking you to cheat on your wife. Like,
can a girl dream?
I just wish that they had addressed those kisses, and I mean, they still can, but I mean, it kind of seems like, and probably like a couple of the fans are saying, because they're definitely bringing up them kisses. That's the thing. They showed it to us. I don't know if, like you said, Keish, whether they had a conversation about the kisses. Now, I know Finn know that Liam has always been trying to get at his wife, but we don't know whether those kisses came out. And a lot of, obviously, in the comment section, they're saying the same thing, but they're also saying that Finn probably would forgive the kisses, but Steffi is not going to forgive, or she's going to be pissed about the fact that this girl came on to him and he said nothing.
I think she'll be mad at him, I think, initially, but she's going to take all of that anger out on Hope in the same way that Finn wouldn't blame Steffy for Liam kissing her. Because I mean, I'm not gonna act like Steffy leaned into his kisses, or that she was flirting with him, or that she came on to him. Liam clearly grabbed her, especially the one that he did in their house when they had just gotten back from Paris. He turned around and grabbed her and kissed her. Like, she didn't invite any of that. So I feel like if they do ever address it, I don't think that Finn would blame her. I think he would definitely get in Liam's face about that. And I feel the same way about Steffy. I feel like they might be mad at one another for 5 seconds, and then they're going to go to Hope and Liam and have it out with the two of them.
We keep forgetting the fact that Finn has been keeping a lot of secrets from his wife. Like, why doesn't he tell his wife that he's been massaging his enemy and being human Tylenol for her migraines? Or why the fact that whenever Hope calls him, he is at her beck and call? Or like whenever he goes to El Giardino, he wants to try to keep that secret from his wife. He has no problem keeping secrets from her. And those kisses, those were brought on by Liam. She didn't try to actively pursue that man. He came after her, and she shut him down.
Right, but
at least after the second time.
Right, and I agree with you on that. But she never told her husband that it happened. That's the thing. And so, I mean, she didn't lean into it. She didn't ask for it or anything like that, but she also didn't tell her husband that the situation occurred.
That we know of. It could have been another one of their off-screen moments that Bolt seems to love doing.
Yeah, I hate that. I would have loved to see Ben's reaction when Steffy told him about all the stuff that Liam said behind his back.
Same.
That's a missed opportunity.
So then we have the conversation between Lee and Bill. And there was a lot of gratefulness between the two of them, where he was grateful for, of course, bringing Luna into his life with that paternity test being his daughter. And then Lee is grateful for Bill saving her life, being in the alley, left pretty much with nothing. And so they owe each other. It was an interesting conversation, because he was like, I'll do anything for my family, and now you're part of the family, you're under the Spencer umbrella. And she seemed extremely grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were speculating that there was some cryptic going on between the two of them, and whether or not they are in cahoots over the paternity test, and or whatever. What do y'all think about that interaction?
I mean, I 1000% think that from that interaction, sounds to me like the two of them work together to alter that paternity test, or to portray Bill as Luna's father.
Brie?
That would be a really stupid storyline. That's why it's hard for me to believe, because he didn't need to go to those lengths to claim Luna as his daughter. He could have adopted her, same way Eric adopted Marcus years back. It didn't have to come to that, and work together to protect who, though? I cannot see Louis going above and beyond to protect Poppy if she slept around with Jack, for example, and wants to cover up the paternity test. That wouldn't be in that woman's favor. She has no problem calling people out who's wronged her. Every chance she gets, she calls out Sheila. So she would waste no time calling out her sister, especially if she slept with her husband and it resulted in a child. She's not going to do anything to defend that woman or cover up a paternity, of all things. I just can't see that happening. But if that's the direction they're going in, that's a very stupid storyline. This man could have easily adopted her without knowing, without, being the biological father for her.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. I mean, okay, for one thing, an at-home test is unordinary. Usually the test that we've seen is in some type of hospital lab, a blood test or whatever. She brought a sealed box over to the house, did the swab of the cheeks, and it ran, and then it came back as a match. And because she was hoping that Poppy was lying. So was she not hoping that Poppy was lying? Where did she get a sealed test that could alter the results? I mean, she could put her own tape on there, but I don't know if that's kind of far fetched. It could be, who knows, but bold. It's just weird. I'm wondering if she's not going to be Bill's daughter. How are they going to come to that conclusion unless they do another blood test? But it doesn't even look like they're going that route right now.
Nope. Well, they need a blood test because all they did was a swab test, and Lee didn't find out that a paternity test was going to even happen. She found out from RJ, and then she rushed over and got a DNA test. So if this was planned,
Right.
this would have to be within a blink or in a quick second on between Lee and Bill, which that didn't happen. Bill didn't even want Lee there at first, but he was like, okay, if you're going to do the paternity test, then fine. He was like, all right, that's fine. So that's why it's hard for me to believe that those two are in cahoots together to protect Poppy and protect Luna regarding the paternity. And once again, Lee came onto the show. So correction, when Poppy came onto the show, Lee was like, look, I don't want you here. You're this, you're that, you're a gold digger. She's not going to up and change that now just to protect Luna and Poppy.
I never felt like it was about protecting Poppy. I felt like it was about her protecting her, or like I think Jay said it in the chat, keeping up appearances and not being embarrassed by the fact that her sister and her husband slept together, had this kid, and now, and maybe keeping Finn from finding that out. Or I don't think it has anything to do with wanting to protect Poppy. I think it's more about herself.
But
okay, it's just the conversation. I totally agree with you guys. And if this is the long way around that they're doing this for the paternity thing, it's ridiculous. But just that conversation between her and Bill was just too, like him saying, what did he say to her? The way he was saying, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. You helped give me a daughter. And then Lee saying, that's what a family should look like, talking about her and, or Poppy and Luna and Bill. And Bill said something like, I have a daughter now due in large part to you. And it's like that just, I don't know, the way that they worded it, and maybe they worded it that way to throw people off, to make us think that maybe they're,
I think so.
But the wording of their conversation just made it sound like they did some sneaky stuff, because she also said it's the least I could do to repay you. And it's like, you're not the only, he could have had a paternity test done anywhere. So it's not like Lee is the only person in LA that has access to do paternity testing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was very specific to, you did this for me. You gave me a daughter. And then her saying that she's repaying him. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You did a swab on him and Luna and ran a test. Like, what are you repaying him for that? Like, just for that simple act that took 15 minutes to do. So I don't know. To me, it just sounded like the repayment was ensuring that Luna and Poppy believed that he was Luna's father.
Yeah, I kind of want to touch back on something that Bree said earlier, which makes a lot of sense, because She didn't. There's in regards to the fact of even Lee participating in this whole thing, she had no idea that that paternity test was happening. Like you say, Bree, until RJ told her.
Yeah.
And she
Exactly.
ran over there like, oh no, I'm going to make sure that this is going to be handled the right way. She went and got a sealed test, brought it over there, and at first they were about to kick her out. And then Bill changed his mind and say, hey, if there's nothing to worry about, you wouldn't mind letting her do the test. And she did the test. Go ahead, what'd you say?
And I think that's why he was relieved, because maybe he had doubts about Poppy, and maybe by Lee doing the test, it kind of cleared any worries that he has. So maybe that's why he might feel grateful that she did it.
Right, but I mean,
at that point in time.
Right, and I don't. It's hard for me to. I mean, it could be a false positive, but because sometimes in-home tests can have false positives. But do I think she rigged the test herself? It's just not the window of time to plan something like that is just too small in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Like the beginnings of how all of this came about, it wouldn't add up.
Mm-mm.
But if everyone was so, like, especially with Lee, because she was so, I guess, adamant about how she felt like, I guess, Poppy was trying to track Bill, or she's a gold digger and she, is just trying to use Bill for his money. I feel like when Katie came into the office and was questioning the validity of the test, if Lee was so like, she wanted to make sure that Poppy wasn't using Bill, why not run another one and do an actual blood test this time?
I mean, that would make sense.
I think it's going to come to that.
I'm wondering what's going to push it, though. Because look like Poppy's coming clean about the Tom situation directly to Bill, which I think is a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely takes power away from Katie, because Katie's coming hard for her. But there's another theory, and I've seen a couple people saying it in this chat, which moves us to this murder mystery, mystery where who could have possibly done it. And I don't know, but for some reason I'm thinking Bill and Justin had a hand in this.
Really?
Yep, I do. Because I have a feeling that and I could be wrong, but that preview where we see Poppy spilling her guts about the Tom situation, I wouldn't be a bit surprised that Bill turn around and say something like, yeah, I already knew. I've been digging. I've been keeping up. I went and dug in your past to see what else is da-da-da, and I found Tom and this, that, and the third. So it's not remiss. I don't think he's in the dark about her past as much as Katie thinks he's in the dark about it. And is it a possibility that he could have done something to keep that quiet? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's Poppy though. It's too obvious, and it's definitely not Sheila.
Yeah, it's been way too obvious from the moment we knew that Poppy and Tom knew each other. They weren't making her the killer.
Yep, and the fact that if she's spilling her guts, what's she gonna tell Bill? Yeah, I unalived 2 people. I don't think that she's spilling her guts about her affair with Tom and what Tom was saying. But yeah, I don't think Poppy was the person. Of course, Sheila's definitely not the person. That only leaves Jack, Lee, Bill, and Justin.
It would be very unique if it were both Justin and Jack, especially since they're both lawyers. He could have looked at Justin as like, hey, can you do me a quick favor? This is what's happening. Yada, 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 yada. But to be honest, I really feel this is Jack. I keep going back to that statement he told Finn about he would stop at nothing to do whatever he can for Poppy. despite how Lee feels. And no man would ever say that unless he was screwing her or he screwed her in the past. And that's why I'm thinking that Jack is the father and he's trying to cover his bases. And plus, we haven't really seen him as much. I think the person who's in play is the person we haven't really seen on screen as much. And
the point of killing Tom, though?
I think because there was questions surrounding the paternity. So if Tom were still alive to say, like, I want to spend time with Luna, whatever the case is, they do a blood DNA test and they both found out that it's not Tom or Bill, then it just creates more questions. And plus, if we go back to January, Poppy was staying with Lee and Jack while Finn came back home from his first year of college or something like that. So she was in the household with them. And for that man to make that statement saying that Poppy means so much to him, she's a great person, he will stop at nothing to protect her and Luna. And he also encouraged Finn to spend more time with Poppy and Luna. That's way too much investment. And this is supposed to be your sister-in-law, by the way, or ex-sister-in-law, by the way.
I mean, the other thing is the reconciliation between Justin and Bill, because they were on the outs, and he went over there to work for Forrester and try to give out all the details on Bill for whatever that storyline was back then. And now all of a sudden they put their past back together and they're going to watch a baseball game. I don't know if somebody, I'm going to scratch your back, you scratch mine type of situation. It's just something interesting there. And when Deacon brought up the whole thing about not being just an overdose, but now it's actually being where a person was literally taken out by somebody else, his eyes were fluttering over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if, they could just be trying to throw everybody off, but in my opinion, I don't think it's Poppy. I don't think we already ruled out Sheila. Now, some people are still trying to think maybe it's an outside person dealing with the sugar thing. I mean, they could be, somebody trying to set up Sheila, but they're moving the storyline finally away from Sheila at this point. It'd be different if they were still on it in this going into this July, August week. They're moving this storyline and keep flickering the camera over to Poppy, which obviously they're trying to, make us think it's her. But if this was all about sugar, we would see people planting evidence, possibly this person planting evidence in Deacon's house. They're moving it out of that whole shadow of Sheila at this point.
Yeah, I agree. This is about Poppy. And also, there's been a lot of questions about, like, well, there's two, actually. Who was she meeting in the middle of the night and having these secret meetings and these secret phone calls? And on top of that, this woman had lied to both Bill and Luna in regards to trying to see what happened to Hollis, somebody who her daughter knows. She doesn't even know that man personally, but she had to go down to the morgue.
You said who lied?
Poppy lied to both Luna and Bill as far as where she was going to go. She could have easily told them, like, hey, I'm going to check to see what happened with Hollis. But she wanted to ensure how that man's cause of death happened. She ensured it. We have never really seen her have any conversations with that man, but she wanted to ensure for her daughter's sake as to what happened to that man. That's something that she could have learned in the newspaper. By the way,
I'm wondering if because they've been really trying to put the camera on Poppy, but I just think they just want us to think that it's her. And then at the 11th hour, it's going to be somebody to shock the mess out of us.
At the end of all of this, if it ends up being Poppy, this will have been the laziest, most ridiculous murder mystery ever, because they're pointing they are all pointing fingers at Poppy right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it way too obvious for it to be Poppy. This wouldn't be a murder mystery at all if the murderer ends up being Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's her either.
But keep in mind, this is B&B writing, by the way. It could very well be Poppy.
So
in this case,
there is one other thing, because Trish dropped a message, and hold on, and I saw, hold on, and it was, where'd it go? Oh, I got so many. Okay, here we go. So this whole thing, because then we might as well move over to Katie digging in her past.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to me, I'm like, why are you so obsessed with this? Are you really truly protecting Bill, or are you just being a hater? Exactly. And you know, the whole thing about her past and all this, and Trish was like, what's funny is Poppy has never claimed to be a saint. She told everyone that mattered that she didn't know who Luna's father was, thus everyone knew she was playing fast and loose. She never claimed or demanded anything from Bill. Katie didn't want Bill until someone else got his attention. And yeah, and then of course she said it's going to be fun to watch. So, I mean, honestly, do you see Poppy as a gold digger?
Absolutely.
I don't think she's done anything to portray herself as a gold digger.
That's what I'm looking for that, because Bill is the one that initiated everything that's going on in her life right now.
Not to mention, she rejected Bill in the beginning. When Bill first saw them at Il Giardino.
Yeah, she acted like she didn't even know him.
Yeah, she kind of dismissed him from the table, like, look, I'm spending time with my daughter. Nice to meet you, but see you later.
And that's why it's very sketchy for me, because this woman also claims to always been in love with him, and that's the only man that she's ever loved in her life. But as soon as you see him, you deny him. As soon as you start dating him, and there's questions surrounding Luna's paternity, you shut it down, or you said there's no possibility. She actually said there was no possibility, and all of a sudden, oh, it could be a possibility. He shows her that, yeah, all of a sudden now it's a strong possibility that's the father. So, and then on top of that, you have Tom. Well, actually, Lee has been saying from the get-go that she loves rich men. She's been 10 toes down on that's the type of man that she likes. And then you have Tom, before he passed, saying that she likes to scam rich men out of their money. There's two different people who said this about this woman.
But then she said that she was never a gold digger when she told that to Katie earlier today. So is it their biases, or is she actually a gold digger?
I don't think Tom would be biased and say that, you know, she's a gold digger. I think he was just spitting facts, and he was trying to like, look, hey, and I could also be a possibility of that child, of being a child's father. She's just shutting it down. But at the same time, you have your sister who's known you your whole life, and you have this other man who passed away, who prior to that was claiming to be the father of your child, but knew your past just as well and how you get down with other men. And she had no problem saying she was loose. She was probably loose with rich men. That's why I couldn't put it past this woman. And she also wants to secure a particular lifestyle for her daughter, too, knowing her paternity's in question.
Okay, in the chat, let me see what you guys think. So you hear what we had to say. In the chat, if you think Poppy is a gold digger, drop a 1. If you think she's not a gold digger, drop a 2. I'm curious to see. Because my thing is, she had the biggest fish that she could ever attach herself to over the last 20 years, which was Bill Spencer over Tom any day. Mm-hmm. And she didn't reach out for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's hard living as a single mother. So, I mean, she chose to have the Nazawa power And you don't need a father, which I did not like that part. You know, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like a contradictory thing, because we see, like you said, Bree, Tom said one thing, the sister said one thing, but the way she was moving that we did, because we only got their word versus what actually happened, but we hear her as being a single mom. So, I mean, and she had the opportunity, knowing that she slept with Bill Spencer at the time. And for her to, I don't believe she didn't know who Bill was and how rich. I think she lied to Katie because his father, the original OG William Spencer, which was on the show, was a rich man too. So they know that family. And so why, if that was the case, why didn't you go after Bill 20 years ago if she actually wanted to tap into the lottery ticket?
Yeah, if she's a gold digger, she's not very good at
She's
it.
not a good one. Yep. So, okay, let me see. Let me scroll.
It's like people are so a lot of unos.
Yeah, we got. I wish I had like a tally type thing in this platform, you know, because some platforms it'll give you like a percentage. I know who is that? TikTok does it. It'll give you like 70% versus 30%, or IG does. But we see ones, twos, ones, two, some ones. Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting because we didn't. I would rather, if you're going to be a gold digger and have her a gold digger on the show, she should have been coming after Bill hard when she got to LA. You know what I mean?
But once again, that paternity is in question. If she were to go to Bill, he would have.
But there's a storyline prior to this, that whole thing with them switching that paternity thing 3 months later. So from January, Bree, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, because I know you stopped talking. I didn't know if you were done. From January through March, we had her not telling Luna. We had her saying it was not Bill, that she was conceived in love, and all of that stuff. And then, of course, with the Sheila Sugar thing, they put that storyline on the back burner. And then May or June, they picked it back up with her saying that he was a possibility. And he wanted to find out. Luna wanted to find out. They wanted to do a test. And then that's how we got there with this in the box test. I don't know. It's just weird how the progression of this storyline is happening. You know what I mean? I think even though they wanted to focus on the Sheila Sugar thing and getting Thomas out of LA for that 3 month period, it kind of threw us off. And then when they got back to the storyline, they shifted it a little bit. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. And that throws so many questions surrounding this girl's paternity. But I honestly feel Poppy made a choice to raise that girl on her own, because she knew that she knows who that kid's father is. And I think it's Jack. And if there was any questions surrounding that girl's paternity and she's testing all these different people, it's going to zero in on the man on her portrayal of her sister's husband. Like, that's what it boils down to. So instead of creating questions surrounding that girl's paternity, she took it on the chin and decided to raise that baby on her own. But that girl was asking adamantly about her father. And what irked me is she said that, well, I raised you. You don't need to know who it is. She's thrown this girl for a loop when it came to that paternity. And she's trying to cover herself up. And that's why I think Jack is either helping her or trying to protect himself, something to that effect. But I think she knows exactly who that child's father is. And I think she lucked out and went with the results of Lee's tests.
Well, I mean, but so she know who the okay. So if it was Jack, she wouldn't, of course, wouldn't want to say anything because it would
Absolutely.
stir up Lee, if anything. And then if it was Finn, which they pointed in that direction first earlier this year, that also would have started a problem with Lee as well. But I don't know. They need to give some clarity. I mean, we got the mystery of whether this paternity test is valid, and then we got the mystery surrounding Hollis and Tom. So hopefully we get some answers because Katie is digging. She's gonna be talking to RJ next week, and he looks confused as ever. It's like, what is RJ gonna do? Why are you talking to him? I mean, I know that's your nephew and all, but okay, what are you going to do? Confront Poppy? I will tell you, Luna will confront Katie next week, though. So,
and what can that girl do?
Well, she don't.
Know, but I'm excited to see.
I'm excited to see that because she's standing up, telling her to stop attacking her mother. That's what it is.
I mean, Katie has no basis for anything that she's doing other than part of it is Lee's fault because Lee was talking crap about her sister to her, telling her that her sister was a gold digger and she doesn't trust her. But the way that they had Katie today do her little detective research and look back at the festival that they went to, saw that Tom performed there, and then realized that Tom worked at the restaurant that Poppy, that Poppy has eaten at or frequents is what Katie said.
Mm-hmm.
And so she connected that to, he performed at that festival they were at. She must have had a relationship with him. Oh, and did you also murder him as well? Like, are you? That was so
hey, Keish. So I'm assuming if Drake or Chris Brown was at that festival and then turn around and happened to be at Il Giardino and something happened, she was going to accuse her of sleeping with them too, I guess.
I guess so. I'm like, this is how you guys had Katie come to this conclusion? Like, seriously?
Exactly. She swung and monkey branched from each one of those ideas just because they both were at a festival. And now, of course, we know that there's a connection with Tom and Poppy, but the way that they had her, that was some lazy writing for real, where they said, you know what, let's just throw all this together right here and have her connect the dots because they happen to be in the same place at the same time.
Right. At the very least, it would have made just a tad bit more sense had she seen Poppy in a picture with Tom.
Right.
That would have made it make even just a little bit more sense. But just the fact that they were at the festival with a million other people and probably 20 other performers, like that connection just didn't. That was so stupid.
Yeah, she could have slept with the other list of performers there too. You gonna talk to them too, Katie?
She probably did. I'm just speaking. She probably did.
Katie worked to my last nerve. She's doing the typical entitled.
She's like Summer right now.
Crack.
Well, I feel that's apples and oranges. I mean, you got to keep in mind, this is the lazy writing on B&B's part. Remember when Hope found out that Liam and Wyatt were Bill's sons based off of the sword that anybody could have had?
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised by this at all.
Oh, I'm not surprised by the lazy writing. I'm just annoyed by it.
Yeah, I agree. Because I'm like, really? That didn't even make sense. The way y'all monkey branched all those points together. And she went immediately to, is that your lover? You were the one that took him out?
Right.
It's like, how did you go from them being, and like you said, Keish, it'd be different if she saw them in a picture together or something for her to connect the dots like she did.
What if she finds out about those letters? Because that book bag is still missing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoever took out Hollis has that book bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at this point, it won't matter anymore because she tells Bill next week.
Yep.
Her and Tom
correct.
Relationship or knew each other.
Yep. She spills the beans, which takes the power away from whoever has that bag and Katie.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, because what this should do is prompt Bill up to do a blood DNA test to ensure everything now.
Unless Bill already knows.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that maybe he already knows something, because I could see her, because she was freaking out. Oh my God. And Tom said, and he was there, and I talked to him, and I could imagine Bill like, don't worry about it. I already know.
Yeah, that's why I think that he may have had something to do with, I guess, making sure the test or the results or whatever was him, because I think I feel like when she tells him that, he's going to do exactly that. Like he's not going to act surprised, and he's not going to ask for another test.
Nope. And nope. It's something. Bill got his hands in something.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked that up early, and then I saw that preview for next week. I'm like, yeah, why she's, because I mean, he should be pissed, or like, wait, what do you mean? There's a question with the DNA? Oh no, we need to do blood tests or whatever. And who knows? They might write it that way. Who knows?
But keep in mind, because you guys said that Luna and Katie are going to have a conversation. What if Katie brings up Tom Star and Luna's like, I wonder, and he was over at the house and my mom tried to kick him out. I think if anything, Luna would want to prompt a blood DNA test.
That's possible. But I still think Bill knows that he's not really her father.
Why would then? Okay, let's go with that, Keish. Why would he want so badly to be her father if he already knows that he isn't?
Bill has been. I feel like he has. I don't want to say obsessed, but they had written Bill to be very like taken with Luna and Poppy from the beginning. He like gushed over Luna, and every scene that he was with Poppy, just gushed over her. So it was almost like they wrote him to have this strong desire to want to be this girl's father from the start. So I don't know. Maybe they just have Bill being, just going overboard with wanting a daughter and wanting Luna to be his, because he just wants to be with Poppy, and he's just like enamored by both of them. I have no clue why they would write it that way, but listen to the way that he was talking to Lee. Like he's just over the moon that they have their little family now. I don't know why he would be desperate for it, but I don't know.
Well, much to what he was saying to Poppy earlier this week, that he was lonely after both Brooke and Katie rejected him. And they kind of filled that space in his life. And kind of like, and Katie also pointed out something that's been sticking with me, that he's in love with being a father. I don't think he's in love with Poppy. She keeps saying that she loves him. I have yet to hear this man say that he loves Poppy at all. He keeps saying he loves his daughter. He's happy to have his daughter. I think he's happy that these two women are holding a space in his life. And maybe he wants to be very protective of it. But once again, he didn't have to go through these links to legally adopt Luna and claim her as his daughter. I can understand having all these sons and not having a daughter to raise, but he could easily just adopt her and then call it a day. It didn't have to result in him unaliving two people. That's why unaliving Tom and Hollis was a desperation act, and that's why I still feel it's Jack who's doing this.
It's going to be interesting to find out the fallout with this, to see who's who did what is Bill's reaction going to be to Poppy's admission, what is Katie's reaction going to be to Luna's confrontation, and yeah. All right, we got to talk about two other things. This whole conversation with Ridge and Steffi, because Steffi, it seems that she feel like Her dad is the only person, of course, that she has left because there's no, Phoebe's, of course, is gone. Taylor's not there. Um, Thomas is not there. None of her other aunts from her dad's side is there. And that's why she keeps talking about the overrunning of the Logan thing. Do you think she feels alone?
She is alone.
She literally has nobody,
right?
Other than her husband. But when it comes to the company specifically, there's nobody there that's on her side,
and her family too. No one. And the writers, producers, Bradley Bell, for you guys to get rid of Krista Allen and said there's no reason to have the Taylor character on or whatever the case is, that is ridiculous. Clearly, this girl needed her mother in a lot of situations, including now, because everything that she's saying to her father is going through one ear, out the other.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This girl's alone.
Go ahead.
One of the things I did like about their conversation was when Ridge said to her, "I was the one that left your mother. Brooke didn't hit me over the head and forced me to be in love with her. I left your mother. If you're going to be mad at anybody, you should be mad at me,
mm-hmm.
or don't be mad at anybody at all." Which that does make sense, because Brooke could have done, played all her little games and schemed and did whatever, like they had her do in the early 90s when him and Taylor were together. And Ridge never worked. He always stayed with Taylor. He always chose Taylor over Brooke. But the minute Ridge decided he was more in love with Brooke than he was with Taylor, he was the one that picked Taylor, or picked Brooke. So I understand I understand not liking Brooke, because clearly, she did her dirt to turn Ridge's head. But ultimately, Ridge was the one that chose to be with her. He was the one that broke up that family, because he didn't have to do that. If he loved Taylor, as much as he did at one point, then their family would still be together. So to me, what he said to her made sense. And I wish that they would move away from Steffi being angry and Thomas being angry at Brooke for breaking up their family all those years ago. And I wish they would make it more about the way Brooke had treated her and her brother over the years. Because we've heard Thomas say before, I think this was in 2019 or 2020,
mm-hmm.
we've heard him say before how he heard how Brooke used to talk about him when he was a kid. And he said, "You don't think that messed with me, hearing you say all those bad things about me when I was just a kid?" And she didn't really say anything. She was just standing there looking all goofy. So I feel like their anger needs to be more focused at just the way that she treated them in general, and not the fact that she broke up their family, because that was their dad's fault. And it's also their dad's fault that he allowed her to talk and treat them the way that she did. So it just, I don't know. Every time they have Steffi say, "She broke up our family. She broke up you and Mom's marriage. She's the reason why our family was ruined." To me, it looks, I don't want to say pathetic, because, if you have trauma like that, you have that kind of trauma. But there's other things that it would make more sense to focus it more on her treatment of them, and not that she broke up the marriage, because it wasn't just her. It was her dad. And you never really you don't hear Steffi ever hold Ridge accountable.
Yeah, I wish that they would actually bring some folks, even if they brought Taylor back, or one of her aunts, or bring in a cast member that is an ally that Steffi can talk to, hang out with, like what we see. And I think I mentioned this, Bree, you probably remember, it was either Monday or Wednesday, where she could have some type of person to talk to, because her husband is obviously being flaky. So a girlfriend, an aunt, something, like we see on Y&R with Sally and Chelsea, or Sally and Chloe, Audra and Sally, where there's an outlet to have some conversation. She ain't got nobody to talk to.
This would be the perfect reason why either her and Poppy or her and Lee should start being close. If they're not going to recast Taylor, they need to have her develop some type of relationship with Lee or Poppy, because there's literally nobody else on that show that she can have that kind of a relationship with, because all the rest of the women are the Logan women or Sheila.
Or Sheila, right?
Yeah, I actually think she should have a close relationship with Lee. They're very much alike, and Lee values family and sticking together. And plus, Lee has been going hard for Finn and Steffi to make sure they keep their family together. And she's a motherly figure. So that would make perfect sense, writers, to go ahead and put that together. And I agree with everything Keith was saying. More than just blaming Ridge. Bring your grandfather, bring your uncles, blame everybody who allowed the Logan women in. They wanted to be with those women at that time. And I agree, they need to be more pointed to how Brooke has treated them, because especially Thomas. Brooke is mad that Thomas is Ridge's firstborn child. Remember when, if you guys watched any of the old episodes, Brooke really thought Bridget was Ridge's child, and it actually happened to be Eric. She even named the baby after both her and Ridge. She was so mad that Taylor was able to give him his first child. So mad. And I think she's always had that issue with Taylor and her kids for that reason, because she wanted to be the one that was first. Yeah. And it's just stayed. And those kids felt that, obviously. I wish they had kept their anger towards Brooke with that. But like Rich was saying, and I'm happy that after 35 years, he wants to take accountability. Yes, you chose that woman, and yes, they should be blaming you for going in and out of households. Yeah. And choosing her household more than anything. And Taylor actually had your biological children for a while, up until Brooke had RJ, which happened after 4 or 5 of her pregnancies before that happened. So she needs a friend on the show. But more importantly, if we're going to see more scenes with Lee, I would like to see Steffi and Lee interact, especially since that's her mother-in-law. And she gets all the key players. She's also been a victim of Sheila. She would get Steffi's point of view.
Yeah. I mean, especially, we always hear Lee always pulling for Steffi all the time. But that would mean Belle needs to give Naomi more airtime, because we've just now started seeing her back lately. Other than that, she was gone for a while. We would see more of Luna and Poppy more than we saw Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... yeah, I don't know. I mean, Poppy's so caught up in the being up on the bill, she ain't thinking about connecting with nobody.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Luna, I mean, yeah, that's RJ's girlfriend, but, she's a lot younger than Steffi.
And I also wanted to point out, Lee would understand a man betraying her and betraying the family. So she could also step into Taylor's shoes a little bit as to how men have treated her, because of what Jack did to her in regards to sleeping with Sheila and making her raise Sheila's child for years, unbeknownst to her. And then all of the stuff surrounding Sheila and her almost being unalive by her. And they have so much that they can relate to. It's just unnerving that they haven't put a whole lot of scenes with Steffi and Lee. That would be a great mother figure for her, mainly because they have more in common. They both have that same kind of territorial personality, so they could definitely relate to one another.
You know what, Bree? And the other thing is the fact that Lee also told Finn to stay away from Hope, too.
Yep.
multiple times.
Multiple times. So that's something that they both have in common. Because Steffi told Finn to stay away from Hope, and Lee told Finn to stay away from Hope.
Yep. She immediately called it out without even knowing Hope that well. She's like, no, you're 304.
You know what else bothers me is the CEO thing. It's almost pointless to even have Steffi as the co-CEO, because Ridge just goes in there and it's just like, this is what's happening because I said so, and that's the end of that. And she has no say. So it's like, what was the point of even making her a co-CEO if Ridge was just going to be able to bulldoze everything and do what he wants?
And this is also, and Keish, this is the same guy that's saying that making decisions he don't want to do and it's too much work. He want to be designing.
He want to make draws for his
It's like, then go design and let me do what I gotta do, you know. Right, but see, the problem is he knows that Steffi don't want Brooke to be the face of the bedroom line, which is the last storyline we have to deal with. Is Steffi is like, look, let's do the bedroom line. It's profitable, but why does she have to be the face of it? And of course, you know, Hope is poking that bear. Oh, you know, she gonna be great. Isn't that right, Steffi? And I'm like, oh, you acting like a child right now.
I know. The one thing I hate about this though is that they're making Steffi look very just bitter and petty about this whole thing. Like every other line in today's episode, for instance, when they were, you know, starting the photo shoot, was just like very. Now, what she said about the bed having too many miles on it was hilarious.
That was funny.
I was rolling. Oh my God. Vanessa Carlton kept in my head.
That was hilarious.
But it was like, other than that, I hate the way they have just made her completely just bitter about Brooke. And it's like, okay, Steffi, we get it. You hate that they're revamping the bedroom line. Like, this has been basically her narrative for the last, 3 weeks or whenever it was that Ridge announced that they were bringing the bedroom line back. And it's just, from that point on, it's just been the whole Logan this, Logan that. I don't want to have to deal with Brooke. I don't want to have to, why do we need to do this? Why does it have to be her? Why does she have to come here? And it's like, gosh, can you guys give her something else instead of having her just, like, drill in everybody's head that she hates Brooke and she hates that they're revamping the bedroom line for the last 3 weeks. That's all she's been saying. It's just so annoying and frustrating.
I was glad that Finn actually walked in to break up that whole conversation, you know, and they had the coffee and the kisses and all that, and of course Hope is looking crazy. But, you know, I'm like,
but then she sat there and complained about it the whole time that he was there.
Right. Yep.
That's the only person she could vent to.
Yeah, that's true too. You know,
and then next week you see the spoiler picture from next week. They're all standing in there, you know, watching her get her pictures taken, and Steffi's just standing there with this grumpy look on her face, and it's like, just, if I were her, I'd have been like, you know what, since you know everything and I don't have a say, you handle all this, I don't want anything to do with it, I'll focus on something else. Like, I wouldn't even want to be around.
Well, here's my thing. This is where Ridge making decisions through his emotions. I understand that you find her extremely attractive. She's actually the creator of the bedroom line. But what do the buyers, what do the fans, any of that say? They like Brooke, the person that's behind it. Do they want her modeling again? I don't know. And we had this conversation, I think, Bree, on Monday and Wednesday. Well, Wednesday, because I think this came out after that. About the fact that I understand, KKL, 63 years old. The girl is gorgeous, okay?
Yeah.
She is. A lot of the women on both the shows, we were talking about that, Eileen Davidson, Sharon Case, Michelle Stafford, all of these ladies that are in their late 50s, early 60s, they are gorgeous. They got we were talking about the woman that plays Diane, and Susan Walters.
Mm-hmm.
All got nice figures and all that stuff, right? The question is, at what point do you move it to the next generation? So what Bree and I was talking about, if you wasn't there on Wednesday, they could have made this a company-wide thing. If she decided to wear something, all right, she's over there talking about the products and the outfits and whatnot. She's the CEO of the company. She's a businesswoman by day, but when she go home to her husband, this is what she could wear. Then you got Hope. Then you got the models. And then,
They could have even thrown Luna in there.
Exactly. She's over 21. You know what I'm saying? So they could have made this showing all, since Bridge say women of all ages, they could have used the different women of all ages. Jacqueline body is banging after 4 babies.
Okay.
Snatched. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we can't forget about Annika. So I just think that the writers could have did a better job in just making KKL could have did her point. She could have been the MC. She could have even had on maybe something like what she wore when she tried to seduce Ridge last year. That little blue thing she had on when she was
Marchetti.
when she was trying to break the pact between her and Taylor. Okay, fine, but bring all of the other ages of women. You know what I'm saying? And somebody even threw in the chat about the men's line. Men have on a nice boxer outfit. Throw Carter in there. RJ got the arms. Scott got a nice body. Finn looks good. He could have modeled with his wife. They could have really did a nice fashion show with all of this.
I think they did. Didn't they do that with the Intimates line? Didn't they have a men's section of that?
With Steffi.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they can still do that though.
Yeah.
But it would have been a whole lot better since they're having Hope go down this 304 route, and she's failing. But still, she could have took over her mom's bedroom line, because we haven't seen Hope even worry about Hope for the future. We see all those ugly fashions. They might as well go ahead and close up that line, and she could have been the face of the bedroom line. That really would have got under a Steffi's skin, and that would have also made sense for her to try to seduce and lure Finn too.
I thought that's where this was going to end up going when they first brought up the bedroom line, and Brooke was kind of reluctant to do the modeling, and because Hope for the Future was having their problems. I thought that's what they were going to do, was make Hope the face of the bedroom line, but I guess not.
Yeah, we also talked about Lee, because Naomi Matsuda, the girl works out. Her arms are cut.
Yeah.
Oh man, her arms are
cut. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Poppy got a nice body. She's a ballet dancer.
Yep.
We got Jennifer Gareese. Her. And who's the and maybe even
Tom.
Yeah, give Katie some business for a chance. They could have really and I understand they wanted to do the shoot in Monaco, and they can't take the entire staff out of LA, but if they had it in LA, they could have really rocked this thing to really put a spotlight on the bedroom line. I would have loved to watch it.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say you'd love to be in it. I was like, oh.
Oh no. No. But the one said Poppy is too thin. She's a ballet dancer. That girl, have you seen her on her IG? I would get a Charlie horse in my foot if I did the type of stands that she do.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of the models are going to be slim and thin, but it's celebrating every body type and age group categories. If that's the narrative that Ridge wants to go with, they really could have done that. But I understand it's Brooke's bedroom line. Have Brooke be the face of it. That I understand that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somebody in the chat said that Brooke could have came out with the showstopper.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how they could have did it. They had everybody else do their walkthroughs and whatnot. All of the ladies, whatever. If they wanted to even throw the guys in there and have Brooke be the showstopper.
But this also could have been an opportunity once again for Hope.
Yep.
Especially to really stick it to Steffi.
Mm-hmm.
That would really get underneath that girl's skin. But once again, that would require good writing.
Yep. So writers, you do still have a second chance if y'all want to do an LA version. If y'all want to do an LA version of the fashion show, and by the way, Tracy is heading to LA too. So, you know, I'm just saying. I know y'all film stuff 4 to 6 weeks in advance. So, listen, maybe if they have a second local show in late August, September, we'll know that they heard it over here first.
Yeah. You know, they listen. They listen to little tidbits here and there. But this was that would have been a great opportunity. But they needed to pass that torch to Hope, especially since she's going down this dark road. She is, I guess, more comfortable with her sexuality. Her line is failing with all those ugly fashions. So this would have been a perfect transition opportunity for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting what happens next week, because Steffi is not going to have her passport. What is she going to walk back home to? They're doing that for a reason. I don't think they're just doing... Now, I do understand that Hope is going to throw it in her face that she didn't leave. I did see that spoiler. Didn't you see that, Keish?
I didn't see that. I saw something that said Finn finds himself in an awkward situation with Steffi and Hope. But I didn't see... Oh, you know what? I did see something that said Hope gloats about...
Right.
Yeah, I did see that.
About what, her downfall of the fact that she didn't get a chance to go and stuff. And I'm like, is that the only reason? Or could they shock us with Steffi returning back and Hope coming on to Finn and she catches her? Now, I would be more interested in that.
Me too.
If Hope is successful, once again, she's a failing 304. So Steffi might not have to worry about much.
But what I'm saying is, even if... You're so funny. Even if she came back and she hears Hope saying some of the same things that she was saying the other day, even they might not get the second base. But, if she shooting her shot, that's when Steffi walk in like, excuse me, what did you just say to my husband? That type of thing. So.
And Steffi owes her a slap. Steffi has yet to slap Hope. Hope has slapped Steffi, and I think she's pushed her successfully. We have yet to see Steffi smack Hope yet, so this will be a good opportunity for that.
Yeah.
If this is what happens.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, did we cover everything? Oh, yeah, Will Spencer is coming back next week, which is the very handsome Joshua Morrow's son, Crew.
Yep, look just like him.
That boy looked like a teenage version of Josh Morrow.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if he sounds like him, too.
I'd be curious.
And the spoilers for that says that apparently he comes back and is not happy with Bill.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. You know what I would like to see, though, because he has a cousin over at Forrester. I wonder would they pit him, but he's younger than RJ. Would they kind of put them two in contention? Because what is going to be the storyline? Just the fact that he's here and he doesn't He's not happy with his dad. Is that all that y'all giving him?
Probably wants his parents to work things out.
Oh, that might be the other thing, putting his parents back together.
Yeah. Or just maybe in general, he's pissed about the fact that Luna and Poppy moved in.
That too. But if they clear that up with that paternity test, then what you gonna do with him? Send him back to boarding school? I don't wonder how long is he gonna be here.
Well, I'm thinking, especially since I think there's a consensus that Bill is not the father of Luna. Maybe that might lead to a romantic storyline with Luna and Will, since they won't technically be related. I think that's what it's leading down to, and I think that's why he's popping up around this time, since we're kind of coming to the conclusion about the girl's paternity.
And I think Bill and Poppy are still going to, whatever comes out, I think they're still going to remain together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're still going to stay in that house, which puts Will and Luna in close vicinity of each other.
So what you're saying is that even if he's not Luna's father, Poppy and him are still going to stay together.
That's what I think.
Okay.
And I think
possibly.
He's going to ask them to. I think he's going to tell them that he doesn't want them to move out. He wants them to stay there, and then that will be a reason for Luna and Will to interact more.
This may be me, but I think the interaction between Lee and Bill in that office, and I'll touch on this real quick, I think they were Kim testing him again, because even she kept bringing up the thing with Jack and the way that he looked at her and he was feeling for her. If it comes out to be Jack, I can see those two being love interests for each other.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up. It seemed like they were
that woman was smiling, cheesing. We saw other facial expressions. She ain't never done that for any other man on the show.
But she was saying, she was saying how much she owed her life to him, because she figured that she would have died if he hadn't found her. So I think she was just extremely grateful.
But even when they were doing those scenes after he found her, they were kind of Kim testing those two again. And I remember I was hoping for those two to get together. Yeah. And we were wondering what happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
If they revisit that.
Yeah, I remember that. And then because they dropped it after a while, so.
I didn't really see it. I remember that, back then when he found her, I felt like they were possibly going to try something, but I didn't really see the chemistry between the two of them.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I just figured this scene this week was them trying to plant the seeds of maybe Lee and Bill in cahoots with the paternity thing, is how I took it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Ooh, child. We dived deep. We dissected both shows this week. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot to unpack, you know what I'm saying? So, and I just want to figure out who did it. I want to know who did this, and I want to be shocked. That's the thing. If, like you said earlier, Keish, if they circle back and put this on Poppy, he's gonna be like, "Why did we go through all this for that?"
Right.
You brought all these folks on the show with Jack and Justin and all this other stuff, only for it to be Poppy anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. They got big yellow neon green or neon arrows pointing at Poppy right now.
Right.
Everything. It's like, okay, obviously you guys want us to think it's her.
Right. Exactly.
This is B&B writing still.
Yeah, you just never know. They might do the want.
Yep. Which I think is what's going to happen, but I think it's Jack who's doing it.
Yep, so. All right, so we have our final segments, our flip the script and who's taking several seats, our star of the week, and the pickle of the week. So our flip the script is if there's a particular scene or storyline that you wish you could change, that's where you flip the script. And what do you guys have for Young and the Restless?
Young and the Restless, it actually would have been interesting if when Devon went to Victor and said, like, hey, can I have your blessing? It would have been interesting if he said no. I want you to work for it.
Now that's funny. What you got, Keish?
Mine was also about Devon. I wish that he would have just done an actual proposal, because the way he proposed to her was just like it's like he asked her to go out to dinner with him.
It was just quick and on the spot.
Yeah, and even the reason that he gave Lily was like, it's not because you love her, it's because you want her to have the Winter's last name while she works at your company. Okay.
I guess my flip the script at this point would have been Summer not taking advice from her mom. It's like you're in this situation from the get-go because of her, and you're taking more advice. You could, right now you got a small victory, but are you going to actually win the war when your mom is giving you this bad advice?
Right.
So, and then we forgot to mention that Kyle asked Claire to spy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, get it out, Keish.
I'll give Claire credit, because every time Kyle has approached her with something, when it comes to anything to do with Summer, she always takes the mature route and is like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Didn't that's what you say, Bree, too?
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. She's loyal to the Newmans. She doesn't want to ruffle feathers with a Newman, I think, at this point.
Yeah, go ahead, Keish. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just think she has more common sense than Kyle. Regardless, I don't even think it has to do with her being, all of it being her related to Summer. I think she just has common sense and is like, look, like, this is Harrison's mom. I just don't think this is a good idea for me to do. Because, I mean, what could she actually find out that Kyle wouldn't find out? That Kyle wouldn't know?
Right.
Because Summer isn't going to have conversations in front of Claire if she's trying to keep something a secret from Kyle. So that was goofy anyway for him to ask her to do that.
Yep. So, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, yeah, that's right. He asked her to spy. All right. What is your flip for Bold?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I know, go ahead. I said, there's a lot I could flip.
Well, my number one flip would have been Finn walking out of that dang on room instead of coming back in and talking to her about Sheila.
Yeah. What you got, Bree?
Mine would be when Bill was talking to Lee, he asked for a blood DNA test. Just since he's considering adopting Luna, it's for legal purposes. He wants to ensure everything is okay.
Okay. And then my flip would have been part of what I was talking about earlier, in regards to having all different ages with the ladies on the show do the fashion show and not make this focal point. I mean, Ridge says that he wants, different ages, women of different ages to feel beautiful. Okay, use women of different ages to market the product.
That would have been so much better. That would have been a great storyline had they done it that way.
Yep, I totally agree. But unfortunately, they didn't. They wanted to do this whole thing in Monaco. It's kind of like what they did in Rome. We saw 2 dresses that Hope and Brooke wore, but it was only 2. Y'all spent all that money to go over there. And I know the biggest thing was Thomas getting with Hope, or Hope getting with Thomas, I should say. But, y'all did all of that for 2 dresses. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do a fashion show. I thought they were going to have like a a big photo shoot. But
Mm-hmm.
her and Brooke stood in that one little area and turned around in circles
Exactly.
for 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. Who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless? Now that, for those that are new here, that means somebody got on your nerves, irritating, they doing too much. You need to have them take several seats. So who y'all got for Y&R?
Phyllis.
Yep.
I have a bone to pick with her. She given her daughter all this advice about a child that's not biologically hers, but meanwhile, Lucy is running loose in a goose, being fast. And we haven't seen not one scene with her in it or checking on her granddaughter, her almost grown granddaughter, by the way.
We only got one brief scene when she walked into society and Phyllis was sitting at the bar with Heather and Daniel showed up, but that was it. And she really wasn't having a conversation with Lucy.
Oh yeah, was that when she was asking them if everything was okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she was crying in the park about Daniel, but yet you don't want to interact with Daniel's child at all. Take a seat.
Yeah, take several seats. I gotta give a seat to Billy and Adam. And I say Adam because it's like, dude, you telling all these lies, taking the hits, but you ain't tell Chelsea and y'all ain't on the same page. That whole thing gonna blow up in your face if Billy comes and tell her that he thinks he knows what she knows.
Yeah. That was the first thing I thought when Adam made up that story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
I'm giving my seat to Daniel and Heather.
Mm-hmm.
For letting their 15-year-old daughter go to a 21 and older pool party.
Yeah, that is to me. I get it, Bree. There are some folks that'll do that, but it's just not a good idea.
It's just not right morally, but it happens.
Yes.
And where's her grandmother to help bring her in?
Right, since she worried about kids and what impact somebody gonna have on somebody like Harrison and Audra, your granddaughter trying to hang out with 21-year-olds. Yeah.
And it's a shame that the 21-year-old pointed out that it wasn't a good idea.
Exactly.
And not the 40-somethings.
Right. Faith was the one that was like, I don't think that's a good idea. So her own parents didn't reel her in. You had to have faith to say, no. Not today.
Which is a shame. And Daniel knew better.
I know. All right. Who taking a seat on Bold?
Hope.
Katie.
Yep. Her sister can take a seat with her.
Wait a minute. Who can take a seat with who?
I meant her aunt. Her aunt can take a seat with Hope.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Bree.
Hope for failing her mother's genetics.
Oh, Lord. And
I'm sorry. You can't be a Logan and fail as a whore. How dare you do that to your mother like that? You should be taking on her legacy. This is a disgrace. She needs a seat.
And Finn needs a seat right outside that door, not inside that door.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one, too.
That don't make no sense. Ridge needs to take a seat at the design table since he don't want to make decisions when he trying to make them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Such a horrible father. That man sucks.
Horrible father, horrible businessman, just terrible.
Yeah, he don't. I'm too tired to think. But you definitely pushing all these decisions. You going all the way to Monaco. Sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, Ridge is wishy-washy, as you call him, pine cone poppy.
Exactly.
Maybe a pine cone need to fall on his head and he'll sit down somewhere.
If it falls on his head, I don't think he's gonna get back up.
Oh my God. Oh, somebody, the one called Hope, Hope.
Oh Lord.
See, but she's not even worthy of that because she wasn't successful at the job. She failed.
Listen, maybe if it was somebody else, Finn seems to be so locked in to Steffi. I don't know. You think she can flip him, Bree?
Nope. And the thing is, where is that energy that she had with Thomas, where she had no problem locking doors or wearing lingerie and trying to be sexy, pulling a man in? Like, where is that energy? It's like
now,
it was
Bree,
all Thomas
now,
who brought
Bree,
that out for her.
You know that it was easy and light work for Hope to do that one because that man had been pining after her for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Finn is not even mentally, as we see right now, on this girl's radar.
And maybe that's the appeal, but once again, she failed her mother's genetics. I'm sorry.
The fact that she was sitting at that desk staring at that article of Finn and Steffi, because they were co-chairs for some gala or something like that. Remember that? And
right.
Brooke walked in and she closed her computer real quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they are full on having Hope act obsessive.
Like she did last year. She was doing the same thing, looking at photos of Thomas. Remember? No. She was sitting at that design office and then she turned to the side and had a whole disco fantasy from 1980s in her head.
I saw somebody put something online that kind of made sense, and they said this would have been more interesting or would have made more sense if they had Zendaya and Hope grow closer, because Zendaya was, and I don't know if he's still doing it because apparently he's designing for the bedroom line now. Mm-hmm. But because he was designing for Hope for the Future, it would have made more sense for the two of them to grow closer. And then because Thomas is with Zendaya's ex, and now Zendaya would be with Thomas's ex. I'm like, I don't know if I can see it makes sense. I just don't see the two of them.
Yeah, I can't
together.
I mean, what about you, Bree? What do you think about Zendaya and Hope? Is she still there?
I think so.
Bree, you on mute? Oh, we
Hello?
can. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying that it would actually, it's something new we haven't seen, but we've never, I've never seen her look at him a different way. And plus, we don't know what age range they would technically be in.
Well, Zendaya is their age.
I don't know. Well, clearly they have nothing in common. He can't even get her vision together. That's why maybe he left Hope for the Future, because it's like, I can't design the ugly fashions like this. They move over to something I actually might enjoy. So maybe they won't have good chemistry, but it would be something different.
Yeah,
it would have been more logical than what she's doing with Finn. I mean, other than the fact that if this is just purely for revenge on Steffi, then okay. But
that's all it is.
Yeah, but her developing feelings for because that's what she's been telling Brooke, is that she's developing feelings for him, developing feelings for a married man who isn't even showing an ounce of interest in her after we've heard her say 5 million times last year she basically loves Thomas because he's a one-woman man. Mm-hmm. Zendaya would have made much more sense than Finn.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna go down that route, but
no, they're not.
Yeah, I don't see that. All right, we now have our star of the week, Young and the Restless.
Allison Lanier and Michael Mueller. I do not like what they're doing as far as the characters, but the actors have been killing it. They both have annoyed me, especially Summer's character. Great acting from them both.
I'm gonna give it to Beth Maitland and what is his name? I forgot his
name.
I forgot his name. But I love the chemistry between the two of them.
Me too. I love that.
That was the highlight of my week. I mean, with in the romance department, I just thought they were just the way that they putting these two together, because I didn't know what to expect, but it just works.
Yeah, they are cute.
Yep. All right. Star of the week, bold.
Hmm.
Sheesh, that's
Well, I'm gonna give it to Heather Tom just because she's playing it so well that she getting on my nerves.
I'm gonna give it to Steffi's outfit the first few days of the week. I thought
That
her
blue
little,
jean dress,
I thought
yes.
that
that was
was
so cute
so cute.
with that jacket.
Yeah, that was too cute.
Yeah, I liked it.
What you got, Brie?
I will give it to the actress who plays Lee. I'm so happy we got other facial expressions.
Naomi.
Naomi
Yes.
Matsuda. Yep.
Talented actress, beautiful actress. It was nice to see the range of emotions for Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of being angry like they always have her playing angry.
Angry and
Yes.
bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And who's your pickle of the week on The Young and the Restless? Summer. Summer's era. Go ahead.
I'm actually gonna give it to Daniel.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh yeah. For the daughter and the party.
Yeah, he had a job to do as a father, and he should have suspected something, knew better. That there is no excuse.
Yeah.
What you got, Keith?
I'm gonna give it to Devon.
Really?
I'm so tired of that man. I'm so tired of him walking around just mad. Like,
different from me.
We got a little bit of reprieve when he asked Abby to marry him, and then when he went and told Victor the good news. But the scenes with Lily, when they were at Society, and then when he went to the office and he saw Billy at the elevator, and I don't care about Billy, but it's just like, can we ever have Devon just in a normal mood?
I know, right?
Because I feel like he's just constantly just mad. It irritated me this week.
Mm-hmm. Especially him and Billy get into it at that elevator.
Yeah.
And then pickle of the week. Oh, did you do yours, Bree?
Yeah.
Okay. And then bold.
Ridge. Ridge for me, because he still needs to kind of make an effort with his children. He can't just be wrapped up with another woman. And just because Steffi has, married, has her family, she still wants her dad, and life is short. Make an effort to spend some time with your daughter.
Okay.
And validate her feelings, at least to some extent.
Yeah, I'm going to give two pickles, one to Finn and one to Hope. I mean, that was lingerie she had on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you call her shawl, Bree?
That was Ric Flair's robe. That was a Dollar Tree bedazzled robe. That was not sexy. That's why he was quick to shoot that down. It's like, what is that going to do for any man?
Wait a minute. She was like, "You like what you see," and I'm like, "Be careful what you say."
He couldn't even lie. He couldn't even nothing. It wouldn't even do anything for Charlie. Pam wouldn't even wear that. Come on now.
I hope that's not part of the bedroom line, because that was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her mama wouldn't even wear that.
He straight up told her, "You're not going to get a rise out of me," and told her to cover up. I fell out when he said, you can cover up, or you need to cover up, or whatever it was he said to her when he was about to walk out.
Oh my goodness. Now I got to give him a pickle for coming back in and close that door and not telling his wife.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
You know, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, no, you can finish.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, that woman just came on to you and you going to still turn around and come back in there and close that door?
Mm-hmm.
Man, if Steffi had walked up in there with her dress like that and you in there, she would have his head.
I would love for Liam, before he closed the door, to have walked past that room.
Oh yeah, Liam would have been like, "Oh yeah,
He would
this
have
is
got his
some
camera
dirt."
out.
He would have got his camera out.
That was a missed opportunity too, since he was at Forrester Creations.
Yeah, he was.
His wife.
Man, that would have been great writing if Liam was sashaying down the hallway and walked past that door. And walked past that door, sure. And he happened to back up because he see Hope coming on to Finn and pull out that phone. Girl.
And then sprinted to Steffi.
Oh my God.
Made it even better.
Because you know Scott Clifton know how to play nosy. I've seen him do it before.
He sure does. It's great.
Mm-hmm. He is hilarious.
My pickle is the way that that they have written Steffi the past few weeks with this bitterness when it comes to the Logans and Brooke. I hate that they keep bringing that around because they've had times where Steffi has accepted Brooke and accepted the relationship with her dad, and then it's like when they want to bring drama back, they regress her back to the bitterness of feeling like Brooke broke up her family. And it's like, this woman is damn near 40 years old, and y'all still have her complaining about Brooke breaking up her family.
Right.
So I hate that writing that they're giving her. I hate that they just... I just wish that they would allow Steffi to just accept it and move on and not pay them. Like, she shows them that they get under her skin. And I hate that they do that with her.
Right. Yep, I agree. And when Hope realizes that she's getting under Steffi's skin, she's eating that up. She loves the fact that it bothers her.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. All right, did we got everything out? Yes, we do. Maybe so. I think so.
I think we dissected everything.
Yeah, we coming up on 3.5 hours.
We had a lot to say.
Exactly. All right, you guys, we're going to end it here. Thank you for hanging out with us. This was a long one. I know some folks were, having some conversations, and some folks had to bow out, and I totally understand. Happy birthday once again to Rednax. I think he bowed out because he's getting ready to party hardy. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, Friday night, what a perfect night for a birthday. If you're going to festivities. And also make sure you hit that like button, as Bree mentioned in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of July 29th through August 2nd. And the recaps and everything that happens during the week. So unless y'all got anything else, we're going to end it right there.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Yep, have a good weekend, you guys. And I should say soapies. And we will see you all soon. Bye.
Good night.
Adios.